trying to make chicken salad out of chicken shit, and it was just awful.
I've turned chicken salad into chicken shit. I will continue to do so.
Making chicken salad out of chicken shit.
Make chicken salad out of chicken shit. People is as people does, that's all there is to it. Put a square peg in a round hole, just never seems to fit. And you...
This is Bianca Belair.
Hey, this is Kevin Owens.
Hey, it's Seth freaking Rollins.
It is the man, Becky Lynch.
It's Rhea Ripley here, and you're listening to Wrestle Radio Australia.
Hello and welcome to Making Chicken Salad, the Wrestle Radio Australia show where we talk about everything going on around the world of wrestling. My name is Lachlan Albert, and I am joined by the full Thursday crew. That's right, we got the man behind the podcast, Todd Eastman. Todd, how are you, mate?
I'm good, my friend.
We've got the brain behind WrestleBrania joining us, Jeff Setti. Jeff, always good to see you, brother.
Lachlan, there's too many of us. The shows are too long. There's so much news to cover. We just don't have time for these niceties. Move along, move along.
That's right. I'll leave halfway through to make room for everyone. And we're also joined by the man behind Pario Magazine. It's Jamie Apps. Jamie, always good to see you, mate.
Lachlan, don't leave. The shows are longer without you.
No shit.
This thing needs to stay on.
We've been talking for
bags.
We've been talking for 4 minutes. Better throw to an ad break.
Yeah, that's right. This thing needs to stay on the rails with the amount of stuff that we're doing tonight, because we're going to talk about the MCW OPW showcase that happened a couple of weeks ago, which is now free on YouTube. We're going to talk about everything going on in the WWE, from releases to pay cuts to Backlash, which is happening this Sunday. You know, we've got AEW news to talk about. We've got our segment that we're coming back to where we want to know what you want us to talk about. What do you want to talk about? I'm realizing as we speak that we're almost certainly doing a backstage with Jeff this week. That thought has literally just occurred to me.
And I was just about to throw to it.
What?
Actually, what we have actually for our ad break tonight, instead of doing our usual ads, Jeff actually chatted to the bed and breakfast, and what are they called? Sexy bed and breakfast?
Sam, Ben, and breakfast. They told me, because I thought it was sexy Ben and breakfast, stemming from the sexy Greek boys, of course. But no, it's Sam, yes. Ben, and breakfast, as well as a great chat with the Black Diamonds. I don't know what Todd's got lined up though.
I've got the Sam bed and breakfast lined up, and I think I might have to retitle the YouTube clip that goes up, because I think I have sexy written in there. But
and so that'll, I'm sure, be accompanied by Ryan Rapid telling me to suck eggs or something, so we can get excited.
No, because that wasn't the only two. Like, yeah, he got around a bit. He got around to some people. So we aside from just doing the normal stuff that'll go up on YouTube, we also have to have a backstage with Jeff. I mean, what would Jeff going to a show be without a backstage with Jeff?
This is Backstage with Jeff.
I'm here with the human nuke. Human nuke, yeah, that's
Human
it.
nuke, Lucky O'Leary.
Yeah, human nuke. Now, our own Lachlan Albert on Wrestle Radio Australia called you the human weapon the other day. What are your thoughts about Lachlan?
That's Lachlan, hey? You can't even remember Lucky O'Leary's name. You can't even remember the human nuke, the human weapon. What is that? I'm the human nuke. I'm going to explode on you, kid. Yeah, why don't you come down to Melbourne and find out? Human weapon, what a little prick he is. He's going to cop it from me.
Cheers, mate.
You tell Lachlan, come down to PCW Ignition.
Yep.
Yeah, we're free then. We're free then.
We're free. Always.
And I'll talk some sense into that little beanhead. Okay, do you watch the product, or does he just sit on his little desk on his keyboard, type? Is that all? That's from Jackson Atlas.
Yeah,
okay?
That's it. And you guys...
we back him up. Yeah, we back him up.
Always.
Yeah. They'll be there. Okay. If he wants to say it to our face, by all means.
Yeah.
Okay. Free.
Well, to Beanhead, good luck.
This has been Backstage with Jeff.
The blood.
Be hearing about this in the comments. Let me tell you,
the Blood Diamonds thing went for a lot longer. I had to edit it for time because he just went off.
Yeah.
The fact that there was cuts. That's maybe the most worrying one so far.
I did that for your modesty, to be honest with you.
Lachlan, I'll be honest with you. I arrived, they stopped the show and said, "Are you doing a backstage with Jeff?" It was during a multi-man match, and about 5 people put their hands up to do a backstage with Jeff. There's no shortage of Victorian wrestlers that want a piece of you, Lachlan. What's going on?
Yeah, that's what it seems like. I did pick that up as well, Alex Fireheart, the human nuke saying, "I'm going to explode all over you," hopefully with consent, says Alex Fireheart. No Soul Rose says, "I want to fight Lachlan." Maybe the most even shot that I would have so far. I still think Rosie would crush me, but at least then I might be in with half a shot.
It'll be a world first as well. It'll be a last ringer standing, so it'll be a.
I was going to say,
we'll get cameras on that.
We'll do it. We'll do it at midday, so they can't spend that much time out there.
It has to be quick and over with.
It has to be quick, otherwise sunburn.
That does seem.
Do
like
I need to keep hanging out here, or are you done using me as a punching bag? Oh, can we move on?
No, you're right.
Jeepers!
Don't be like that. Don't go away angry. Just go away.
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
No, we can't have that. The show will go on too long if that happens.
We'll be here till 2
No
a.m.
Soul Rose saying, there we go. I would sit on you so fast, Lachlan, and then saying, "Meet me in the shade after school." So it sounds like it's on between me and Rose. It's set to go down. It's look. This is the energy that I nobody wanted. So look, let's get a move on and talk about some actual wrestling, shall we? Let's talk about the MCW OPW Sunday Showcase, which is for free on YouTube. That's right. Head on over to YouTube, search for MCW OPW. You'll be able to find it right there. I did the math on this one, just a heads up. If you notice a lot of Queenslanders, you're absolutely right. 32% of the main card were Queenslanders on this one. Yes, we got them, boys. This one kicked off with a pre-show match that is unfortunately not on the YouTube, which I would love to see, which is Shotgun Matt Farrow defeating Jamie Tagataese, which I would love to see because I saw a couple of little clips of it. Looked like a lot of fun. Tagataese looks like a beast. Matt Farrow has been so much fun when we've seen what he does. I think that would have been a really good way to set the tone as a pre-show match. But coming into the main card, the MCW tag team titles on the line in a 3-way tag match. And this is how you set the tone for a card. Water Rapids, the champions, Mitch Waterman and Ryan Rapid, managing to defend against the team of Strong 94, Renegade and JJ Avery, and the team of Blacklisted, Fox and JXT. I'll throw it to Jeff. What did you think of this 3-way opener for the MCW tag titles?
It was really, really lovely. It's another great match where everyone got to look good. All teams looked really good. There was a nice moment with Ryan Rapid and JJ Avery where they kind of look at each other and go, "Dive over the top rope?" "Yeah, dive over the top rope." Things like that just made it fun. Renegade is half the size he was, which is really pleasing. Yeah. He looks fantastic.
He's medium-sized boy now.
Medium-sized boy, exactly. But yeah, this was a great opener. I mean, the crowds just love Water Rapids. Like, they're so over in Melbourne that it's going to take a special team to knock them off the perch. And I think the pacing and the...
You notice that the steps changed, though? Because originally the steps were both those titles were on the line. Like, I even got that confirmation from like OPW. And then on the night, they just announced it as being the one belt.
My theory was just purely that explaining the stipulation as part of the ring announcing was going to take too long. They were like, let's cut that 90 seconds of explanation that people are just going to be sitting there for. Because, like, I think it's a good stipulation, but it's something that you've got to build up with shows so that people are ready for it, rather than you get to a show and here's a stipulation where if this team gets pinned, then the pinning team wins those belts. But if this team gets pinned, then whoever wins those belts. But if that team gets pinned, then nothing happens. Like, you know, I don't know that on the night it works as good as it does on paper. Nick D'Elia saying Renegade has... Sorry, Jamie.
it also makes it like kind of obvious that at that point, Strong 94 are probably the ones taking the pin, just because they're the only ones without belts.
Yeah.
Whereas if they had like the Pro League belts, then you could do something like that.
Yeah, 100%. Nick Galea saying Renegade has been so good for so long, so underrated, big boy. And, you know, we've got a lot of people in chat, Alex Fireheart mentioning that they were confused when the OPW titles weren't defended. But again, I do think opening it up a little bit to some other results is probably the way to go. But I really enjoyed this match. I thought that the three teams worked well together, and there was a good mix of like high flyers and strong bases for that high flying. Jamie, what did you think of this three-way tag team MCW title match?
I thought this was a fun opener. There was a little bit of clunkiness in terms of like maybe just guys weren't familiar with each other, so there was a little bit of like stuttering on what are we going for here, but other than that, really enjoyable. Great teamwork shown by Strong 94. I think it was a really good intro for them to a new audience. They got to show out what they could do, particularly JJ. I think looked incredible. Like Jeff said, I want to see more JJ versus Ryan and that combination of JJ and Ryan Rapid. And that springboard cutter that Ryan Rapid hit at the end of the match, where he came off the stage to the top rope into the ring, looked awesome. So I was really pleased with this match.
I like what Michael from Moonsault Press pointed out here, that Mitch and JXT had some tension stemming from their like current ongoing Renegades of Wrestling storyline. I really like that made its way in, that this feels like the characters exist consistently, which is a really cool thing to weave in there.
Also, do Blacklisted sell those jerseys?
It's a great question.
Because they're
the Mighty Knights.
They were exceptional. I'll let you know, Jamie. I'll next time I see JXT, I'll ask him.
Yeah, I'd assume he'd be the guy to hit up.
I have a question, right? You know that the end spot? I thought that they had tagged in JJ. They had tagged JJ when JJ was being held up by Fox and JXT. So did I miss-see that?
I don't know.
Okay.
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah. Maybe they went for the tag and missed.
Yeah, Alex Fireheart says, I also thought they tagged JJ, so something is there.
Because I was very confused when they like pinned JJ. I watched it back and they did in fact tag JXT. Okay, that's fine. That clears that up for me. Thank you, Alex.
It wouldn't surprise me if MCW turned this into a like bit of a storyline. Like after the next match they've got, I can't remember who they're facing in a couple of weeks, but you know, Strong 94 could come on the screen and say, look at the evidence. You pinned the illegal man. You didn't pin the legal man. We're coming down to take those belts. You know, so it could feed into something more.
Yeah, after
ATO, which would be amazing.
ATO, which
clearly they listened to the show time.
Yeah. Moving on, though, to people who have a little less history, and that's Matt Hayter and Murdoch going one-on-one here in a match that was a lot of fun, a lot of outrageous stuff going on that ended in a way that I thought was really fun. Matt Hayter getting the win. We had Edward Dusk come in to beat up Matt Hayter, which follows on from the story that they're telling in MCW, and letting Murdoch hit the cannonball, which seemed to be a thing that he cared about more than actually winning the match, which builds that kind of madman persona. Jamie, what did you think of Matt Hayter and Murdoch going one-on-one?
This was, I think, my favorite match of the show, just because of their character work that they had throughout this, particularly like Matt Hayter is normally the most outrageous persona in a match, but to see moments where he was taken aback by just how unhinged Murdoch was, I think did a great job of pushing Murdoch to a new level in this match through that sense, and I really like that. And then there was great camera work in this as well, with the spot where Murdoch went under the apron and then popped back up, and there was a shot where you could see like you see Matt Hayter's face and Murdoch's just in the background, and like they captured everything that Hayter was doing, and then also had Murdoch in the background. It wasn't just a straight close up of Hayter and then we pan over to Murdoch. It was just all in that one frame, and I thought that was really well done. And it was just those facial expressions and character dynamics that really took this to a new level for me.
Absolutely. Nick Galea says this was his favorite match of the show. Murdoch winning the crowd over by being such a nutter was great. Todd, what did you think of Matt Hayter getting the win over Murdoch here?
Yeah, I love the fact that they worked in Dusk into it. I love, you know me, I love that when someone doesn't break character. And that was Murdoch the whole way through this match. He didn't break that maniacal look on his face. He's always in that moment, which I really do like. I really love that about when a worker can do that and keep in the moment and not be like, okay, I've got this. Because in your head, I've got this coming up. He wasn't there. He always seemed to be very present. And just the way that they would have probably communicated to production, this is our spot that we're going to do. We need camera here for this. And like that camera caught it perfectly. So I thought, yeah, really, really good. And I love the fact that like he might have lost the match, but he still got his cannonball in. So even in losing the match, he didn't really lose anything by it. So I think it was a really good job, not only in the booking of the match, but also like just the execution in every part of the match.
Yeah, I think that this one, like in terms of the long-term stuff that MCW especially, but also OPW are doing, like it established all the characters, it looked at all their motivations, they all got what they wanted out of the match in some way. I think that this was like a really excellent bit of booking here. Really impressed. Jeff?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with what you've said so far. The only note I have is actually for Murdoch. Mate, get a photo, a high-quality photo of your head coming out of the ring apron, looking maniacal, and put it on a fucking T-shirt. Because I reckon people would buy the shit out of that. You don't need anything more, just that.
That's your 8x10s right there.
Oh, yeah. That's an 8x10.
It's fantastic. It's
moving on to an early OPW heavyweight title match in the running order. Jesse Love with Jazzy Kennedy, the champion, coming out to be challenged by Lucas Fantasia for that title. I think that Jesse Love looks exactly like a wrestling champion should look. Jazzy looks exactly like a wrestling valet should look. Lucas Fantasia is the perfect challenger because he's a subversion of what you expect from the hyper macho wrestlers doing the twink thing, and the way that it throws off Jesse's normal game plan, I think made this a really fun match structurally. Todd, what did you think of the OPW heavyweight title match between Jesse Love and Lucas Fantasia?
I was thrown off that it was this early in the show. really, really thrown off about that. Other than that, I thought it was good. It didn't. The unfortunate thing was there was never a point where I felt like Jesse was in trouble. So it kind of just felt like it didn't feel like a title match. It just felt like a match that was happening, and he happened to be the champion, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I got what you said.
I had a very similar thing where it kind of lost me in the middle because it didn't really feel like Lucas had much of a shot at winning it. So, yeah, solid
and
match,
I think
just lost me a bit in the middle.
I think that was kind of emphasized by Lucas not having a feeling of urgency in trying to win the match that you would see if, and especially we've seen it from him in EPW when, you know, he's having that big Broderick feud where he really wants to win the match, and you didn't see that as much here. So it made those stakes a little lower. Jeff, what did you think of the OPW heavyweight title match with Lucas Fantasia challenging Jesse Love?
I couldn't agree more with Jamie and Todd. There was a sense of, okay, we're filling time until Jesse wins, unfortunately, because it was a great matchup of skills in the ring. I also kind of did this thing where I was like, now I don't follow OPW much on the socials because, as you guys know, I'm not on the socials a lot anyway, aside from a gym selfie. Why was there a reason behind the two of them clashing? Was it built at all, or was it just this is a match?
It was just a title match.
Yeah, even socials online and a bit of back and forth banter would have amped the crowd up a little more. A video you could have played before the match, it would have made more sense. I like title matches to actually have a bit of a story, but even if it's back and forth banter across.
Yeah, it is kind of hard because OPW runs so irregularly. It's hard to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there was.
I just think that it just needed something more to really get the crowd invested. Like, they enjoyed the match, and God knows, I thought the match was fantastic. But it was a great match between the two of them. But I just wanted something more to bed it down for me.
Yeah. And like you said, with that irregularity, Todd, like that kind of plays into Nims, and that hit one of my pet peeves with particularly companies like this that run so infrequently, to then have the commentators hype up how long somebody has held a championship for. And it's like, yeah, Jesse has held this belt for 90 odd days or something. And I was like, yeah, but this is his literal first defense. It's like,
yeah,
it doesn't really mean anything when you're not running monthly. So I was like, don't put that line in.
Yeah. I fully agree. Alex Fireheart says my favorite spot of this. Oh, sorry, Jeff.
I was going to say, as I said, I get this was a showcase, so I get you kind of going with what you can, but that because of the infrequency of OPW, I concede that it is much more difficult. But there should be a meet in the middle, almost somewhere to meet in the middle, where you get something from each of them, even just comments from each of them on a mobile phone, and that gives you a bit of a reason to invest.
Absolutely. Alex Fireheart says, my favorite spot of this one was Lucas not being able to stop himself in time and tumbling to the floor in a way to save himself. While it was probably unintentional, I liked how real it felt, that he had too much momentum to stop himself at the ropes. Yeah, I fully agree with you there, Alex. I really like when wrestling feels scrappy and it feels like a fight. So that was a moment that I also really appreciated. And, it came off something that we would traditionally see, with Lucas going for the dive to the outside and Jesse pulling Jazzy in the way to act as a shield. But it felt like a really genuine reaction from Lucas in that moment to be flying out of the ring and catching himself and kind of half tumbling. And that scrappiness is one of the things that I loved about the next match. Nick Galea says, by the way, also it's a guaranteed easy crowd pleaser, as that crowd loves Lucas. Like, there are people who go to these shows for him being their main attraction. Yeah, absolutely agree.
And Jesse plays into that well as the heel. Like, he was given that crowd everything he could in terms of crowd work.
Oh, absolutely. And he always does.
Yeah.
Like, absolute credit to Jesse Love. He is always working the crowd. The next match was one that I was always going to love. Jarvis and Mitch Ryder going one-on-one. I loved how scrappy this felt. How there were those moments of, like, just mat wrestling where you had someone in a hold and then they would roll the other guy onto their shoulders and it would kick out but still be in the hold and try to roll through, and the hold would stay on but they'd get to the ropes. Like, that's wrestling, and I loved it. And that was combined with clever stuff that you don't see all the time, like the top rope being slung into Jarvis's throat as a reversal, stuff that I think you should see typically in wrestling matches that is just less common. And then there's all the classic high-flying amazing stuff that Jarvis and Ryder can do. I loved this one. I thought it was great. Jeff, what were your thoughts on Jarvis and Ryder?
I couldn't agree more. Jarvis can, for a long time, he was a rock-solid promo and an okay wrestler. Now he's one hell of a wrestler. You saw it in this match, and you're seeing it coming out in other matches he's starting to do. He, as we know, he recently had a trip overseas, so he's obviously been like the sponge that Jarvis is and gone and learnt a lot. I'm really, really impressed with him in ring, and I thought Mitch was an excellent opponent for him to bring out some of Jarvis's ability to actually wrestle, to get down there and go hold for hold and move for move. I thought the story it told was great. The little bit at the end with the almost handshake, fantastic. I just hope Mitch makes it back down this way soon. I'm in my mind, Melbourne getting Mitch against Brooksy or Mitch against Ryan Rapid, shut up and take my money.
Yeah. I fully agree with that bit at the end where, Jarvis is the good guy and he recognized that Ryder put on a hell of a match and went for the handshake, and Ryder, being a good wrestler, was about to take it, but is still enough of a bad guy to go, nah, I'm out of here. Loved it. It's exactly what Todd was saying before about people being their character the whole time they're out there. Jamie, what did you think of this one with Jarvis and Ryder?
The match itself, I really enjoyed. The ending kind of annoyed me a little bit, just because I don't like how quickly Jarvis recovered to celebrate after the match, because we went from him almost having the match called off after Mitch got him in the ground and pound, and Edwin was there almost about to call the match because he'd been beat up so hard. Then he hits the clip it, and then 2 seconds later, he's celebrating like nothing happened. It's the opposite of what Ted said. Like, you need to stay in character that whole time and like keep that punishment that has been inflicted throughout the match, even through the celebration. Like, you can still celebrate, but just slow the celebration down and show the effects of the match in the celebration. And then, again, I feel like I'm picking on commentary a lot in this show, but if you're going to hype up Mitch and his accolades of what he's done to get this place, maybe have more than 2 things to say about him, because they came in and said he's been in promotions like TNA and GCW. And I was like, yeah, he's also done NWA, he's been in Japan, he's been in South America. Like, we can list, the kid's got a laundry list of accolades. List them, hype him up. And then you mentioned
he was the main event of the showcase last year, and
he put his career on the line against Robbie Eagles and won,
yeah, exactly.
Stuff like that.
There's a lot you can put. He's wrestled Ichiban Sweet Boys, like all of these things.
He's managed by commentary team's favorite manager.
Yeah,
that.
And then you also mentioned
a Neanderthal from up north.
You mentioned the slingshot of the rope, which is such a cool move that Mitch did in this to be the heel. And commentary just ignored it. They made it sound like Jarvis ran himself into the rope, and it took away that spot of heat that Mitch was supposed to be getting. Like, we all saw it, but if you go on the commentary, he didn't really have much involvement in it.
Yeah, like, I will say sometimes from commentary, the angle that you get is a bit weird and you can't quite catch exactly what's going on. And on that side of the ring especially, that may have had something to do with it. But I do agree that there was a lot there that could have been said on commentary, especially with the ground game of this match that kind of wasn't addressed. Todd, do you have anything to add about Jarvis versus Ryder?
I can't. I'm completely biased, so anything I say...
Todd hated it, is what he's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was terrible.
That was terrible. No, like, anything I say is just like, I'm completely biased about it, so...
It needed a manager.
I didn't say
100%. That. Yeah, where was Jarvis's manager? Moving on from this,
where was Murdoch? He just got beat up.
A 6-way scramble elimination match between Elijah Henry, Jab Jahari, Matty Romano, Scott Green, and Zeke Andino, with the winner entering the 2026 MCW Ballroom Brawl. Scott Green managing to get the win in this one, which I think was pretty much the option that everyone assumed it'd be, considering that, he's just come off Survivor and is a regular in MCW and, has been in the Ballroom Brawl before, I think. Or was it just Tucky putting in a great performance last year? I can't remember. But, obviously Scott Green is going to be in the Ballroom Brawl, I think. That seems like a shoe-in to me. But I thought this was a lot of fun. I think Elijah Henry really shone for me here. Obviously, we love what he's doing in EPW, but I thought he especially had some great moments in this one. Todd, what did you think of this 6-way scramble match?
Yeah, I think you're right when you say, like, you looked at it, and unless they were going to pull a real, like, dark horse, no pun intended, out, that, like, Scott Green was going to be the one that come out of this on top. It kind of made sense with all the momentum he has. But I thought they did well. They tried to give everybody something, which is good. And I think most of them capitalized as much as they could with that, because considering they had 8 minutes, so they had a fair amount of time. So yeah, I didn't think it was bad at all. It was good to see Elijah Henry over from Perth and doing some good things. I think that was really a revelation to that crowd, because they probably have never seen Elijah before. Well, they would probably have never seen Zeke either. So, and Matty is just he is the whitest white meat babyface I think you'll ever see. So,
yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I think they all got their little parts in, and yeah, it was fun. I thought it was good.
Yeah, Jeff, what did you think of this 6-way scramble match?
I thought it was good. Again, and I echo both of your thoughts. You look at that lineup and you go, well, Scott Green's winning. Just a note, Todd, Jab had also never been seen by that crowd before, and I don't know if Matty had in a Renegades in a Relentless pre-show match. So unless people watch Mayhem, they won't know who Jab. I don't think so. I think he was scheduled to. I can't be sure. Jab, if you're listening, hit me up. Let me know if you've done the pre-show. But I agree. Zeke Andino looked amazing. Elijah Henry looked great. Just a really solid introduction to some new characters. And yeah, Matty Romano is just it's people with moustaches. It's the Mo team. I think we should get Matty and Jamie in a tag team together.
That's what we've all been asking for. Nick Galea has said, I'm going to say it, I don't get Scott Green. He's very good and ticks all the boxes, but who is he as a persona? I'd like for him to have something more than being Tucky's mate who seems to be a Grayson Waller fan and has a killer theme song. Is that being harsh?
You're going to get a Rocky Monero tweet. That's what you're going to get.
Yeah, 100%, Nick. You're getting tweeted by Rocky here. I know that I've been higher on Scott Green super recently after seeing some of that finale Survivor stuff where he was just really, really good at being a down-to-earth dude who was also cutting incredible promos on what he was doing. And then he came in for that MCW tag match and absolutely killed it. But I understand what you're saying about his specific character, because when he was starting, and if you go back to the IWA stuff that he was doing and the early PWA stuff, it was that very like the character's name, he was a weed guy, right? He came out and he was eating the chips and he was in the baggy green clothes, but he's not that anymore. And he was on Survivor, so he's got a bandana on his arm and his pants are sparkly because he's very. And look, he went from
Shaggy to shiny guy.
Yeah, Shaggy to guy who wrestles good. And the thing about guy who wrestles good is there are lots of them. There are lots of people whose gimmick is I'm a guy who wrestles good. And so when Scott is such a good promo, he's such a good hand, he's surrounded by people who are absolutely excellent at what they do, I do get the desire for him to want to stand out more. And I think that's what you're feeling, Nick. Not to put words in your mouth, but Andy Savage says, I must be overthinking it because this confused me too. Just the notion of flying guys in from interstate for a quick match, it's odd to me. That's, something worth mentioning, but I think that a lot of this for OPW is about showcasing guys and girls from around Australia to a new audience and seeing what people respond to. I think that for MCW, this is a great test case for a lot of these talents, right? They get to see, and you can watch it on YouTube, but it's very different from being in the building. When you get to watch, let's say, an Elijah Henry wrestle in front of you in this spot and see how he responds to it, and absolutely kills it, that makes you go, blub, 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 I'm underwater. It makes you go, we need Elijah Henry. Someone take it away.
What Lachlan was saying there was blub, 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 blub.
I would just say, for me, Elijah Henry was the standout in this. I thought he looked phenomenal in this and was a great showing for him.
Yeah.
I thought the Johari eliminating jab made perfect sense in terms of looping back stories from Mayhem and their history. It wasn't just, oh, these guys are eliminating each other because. And then, like, I don't like to say it. Like, Jeff said that I should be with Matty Romano. Matty, for me, is the Scott Green for Nick. Like, sometimes you just don't connect with a character. And, like, I watched this match and went, he's mega popular. Everything he does in the ring is great. But it's just not connecting with me for some reason. It's just like, okay, cool. It's one of those guys.
It's like me with Trick Williams. I just don't get him.
Yeah, the smart sometimes it just doesn't click.
Somebody want to talk?
Jeff, did you have something there, mate?
Okay. Yeah, the smart thing. Sorry. I thought you were talking, Todd. I'm sorry, mate. The smart thing Romano's doing is he's bringing friends and close family to his first few matches in each Fed. So the "Oh, Matty Romano" chant becomes part of the lexicon in Melbourne. Matty's a really nice guy. Look, I can see why he's so popular, particularly in some of the more European-centric suburbs. So, suburbs with a high number of Italians and Greeks and so on and so forth. They just love him. They love him. All the mamas come and watch him. And it's quite hilarious because they all get whipped up and into a frenzy about it. So yeah.
Michael from Moonsault Press
he's
mentions
really
Romano's
fun.
last few performances in Renegades have really won Michael over a bit more fire than we've usually seen from him. Yeah, that's good to hear. And Alex Fireheart also says might be one of those you have to be in the room kind of situations, which could be very true as well. Nick Galea says about Scott Green, I just feel like he's gone from 0 to 100 this year, and the journey of getting there has been skipped, even in PWA, to be honest. Not saying he's not rightfully a top prospect, but there hasn't really been a path from him being Tucky's sidekick to Coliseum winner and the, quote, the next guy. That's potentially a really good point, I think that I'm interested to see where Scott Green goes character-wise from here, because coming back from Survivor and writing that as trying to bring those people into wrestling, I think is the natural thing to do. And we're going to see soon what he does as the actual post-Survivor character, which I'm excited to see.
I'm actually surprised he hadn't changed his name to Jackson Green.
Yeah.
Because I just think that would be so much easier for him, yeah.
Yeah, have people recognize the name. Like, I think it'd work. Moving on, though, the OPW Women's Tag Team titles on the line with the champions Billy Mack and Eugenie being challenged by First Class Enterprise, Aisha and Melissa Avarillo, who managed to take the OPW Women's Tag titles. Jamie, what do you think of First Class Enterprise becoming the new OPW Women's Champs?
I really liked that they took this opportunity to switch up the champions, and they immediately made Mel look like a big, powerful threat. But they didn't overexpose her in this as well. They knew where to use her and how much to use her, and I think that was really well done, particularly because they had good, simple combos that Aisha and Mel had to make them immediately feel like a legitimate team. It wasn't just Aisha's doing everything, Mel tags in, hits a big boot and a choke slam, and that's it. It was like they had some tag team moves, which was really nice. And then on the flip side, I think this was really fun for Eugenie. We spoke about, I think last time we watched her, last week when we watched a show with her in it, she was working bigger and playing up to her size. And then this time she had to flip it and be the smaller person in it. in the match when she was up against Mel, and I think she did that really well. So she's putting all the pieces together and working really well.
Yeah. I think Billy Mack sometimes doesn't get highlighted as much as she should for just being an absolute solid hand in these kind of matches that keep them flowing the way they need to. She keeps the excitement up. She keeps the movement up. She's interacting with the crowd in a way that's fun. Even right at the start, when you had the crowd going in on Aisha, Billy Mack being like, yes, this is interactive. Let's do it. I thought that this match was a lot of fun, and I'm a huge Melissa Avarillo fan. I think she's got dollar signs written all over her, especially because for people who are tall and lanky, a lot of wrestling moves can often look awkward. And making them not look awkward is a special skill that she's doing a great job of developing. And I think tagging her with Aisha here, who is so technically sound, is really clever. Todd, what did you think of First Class Enterprise becoming the OPW Women's Tag Champions?
I kind of feel like this belt changes hands pretty much every show. So I wasn't overly surprised this happened. I think it's only retained once, maybe.
Well, you say that, but how long have they been the women's tag champs for? Because it was the Super Show.
Let's not play that game again.
They've defended it a
Jamie will
lot.
go right off.
No,
They have defended it.
they've defended a lot in other places, but then when there is an OPW show, then yeah, these belts are like the hot potato ones.
It's a very good pairing of Avarillo and Aisha. Just that juxtaposition of the size alone. And you're right, Nick, Jamie, that they felt like a team that had been together for a while. Not just this is their first time teaming. So they did a really good job with that. I think I've noted every time I've seen like Melissa, she is getting a lot better. She is, like when we first saw her, it was very much a case of I like calling it like the baby giraffe walk, like really tall, like in the ring, because it's hard with the way the ring moves sometimes to get your footing. So oftentimes with someone who's really tall, that takes them a little while to get that down, and she looks really natural now in the ring. It's to do with reps that she's had over the past. I remember when she did the Gold Coast show not too long ago, is when she really like stood out to me as going, wow, she is really improving. And like this again was another case of that. Yeah, I thought the match was good. It was good to see Eugenie back in like the Thornbury, because even though she is like who she is and who she was there, I still think that crowd like her.
Yeah.
So they were always going to pick her over like Aisha. And just So yeah, I thought it was good. I'm interested to see who they bring in next against like First Class Enterprise, because like there's plenty of girls to choose from around the country.
I just checked. This was apparently their third defense.
Okay.
Yeah. Jeff, did you have any thoughts you wanted to add, mate?
Jeff, your lag is killing us.
Yeah, your lag is terrible.
It is. No. There was a gap. There was a gap and no one was talking, so I thought I'd jump in. So the lag isn't that bad. There was just no one talking for a few seconds. Look, I thought this was good. While I agree with you, Todd, that Eugenie's great as a babyface, I think that a lot of the reason Aisha got so much more hate is recency bias or anything else. Like, people remember Eugenie fondly now, and yet Aisha's still the first class bitch who beat up Shay at the last show. So I think that has helped the heel face dynamics in this match. I really liked it. You're all right. Melissa Avarillo is great, and Aisha worked so well in that match. She's become such a smart worker. Really good match.
And then in the main event, the inaugural OPW Global Championship reign on the line between Parker Boudreaux and Shanky Singh. This one had Scott Green on commentary, who got involved and had a little bit of an altercation with Shanky before getting scared of the big man and leaving the ring. But it was enough distraction for Boudreaux to get the win here and become the champion. I think it made Scott look a little bit silly, unfortunately, because I don't quite know why he was on commentary. And then he went and had a go at someone and then got scared when the person that he'd been watching for the past 10 minutes was big. That confused me a little. But Macho Man and Andy Savage said exactly what I was about to say. It was better than I expected it to be, I guess. Yeah, I was thinking that this might be an unmitigated disaster, and it wasn't. Jeff, do you have a similar view of this?
Yeah, it was a bit long for what it was, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't something where I was like, oh, well, that was a waste of time, or I wish... No. It was pretty good. You can see that Shanky's improving each match, and I saw him on Saturday night at the PCW show, and he is one large gentleman, very, very tall, but he worked really well in this match. And Parker Boudreaux was terrific. Like, he really, really showed such an improvement from his time even in AEW around 12 months ago.
Yeah. Look, this was a 7-match card, and I don't know if this match cracked the top 5, but that is more of a, compliment on the Aussie talent that was up and down this card than it is saying bad things about the internationals that they brought in for this one, right? I do think that going forward, we're going to see Parker versus Scott, or at the very least, Shanky versus Scott Green on the way to Scotty versus Parker Boudreaux for that global title, is my guess, is why he was involved. Jamie, have you got any other thoughts about this global title match?
Pretty much similar. I thought this was a fine match. Parker obviously has put in the work and gone over to the GLEAT dojo in Japan and is improved significantly from his AEW run. So that was nice to see the improvement and the commitment from him to go over there and live in that dojo and work on his skills. So that's awesome. And yeah, it was a fine match. I don't know if this should have main evented on a showcase style show for Australian talent. Like, it was just like, maybe this could have been like the after intermission, like spectacle match, not necessarily the main event.
Michael from Moonsault Press is absolutely right that Shanky moves so well for a guy that size. But Alex Fireheart hits the nail on the head, saying, that they thought for less than half a second about Edwin being the ref for this main event to make both guys look even taller. Yeah, it's like looking at different species. It's insane. Like the disparity is just so huge. Todd, do you have any other thoughts on this global title match? And what are your thoughts on the MCW OPW Sunday Showcase on the whole?
The match was what it was. Like, I thought this did zero favors for Scotty. In fact, it probably like hurt him more than anything else, because it just like everything he did in that match, he just looked like silly or not able to put up a fight against someone like Shanky. Because really, the first move he did, like, Shanky just pushed him, and then he sold it like he'd been bloody killed. And then the next move, he worked in the ring, and like you said, got scared and hit the ground. And like, that's not something you would think he would do. You know what I mean? Like, so...
Yeah, someone that you're building as a legitimate competitor shouldn't be running away from challenges like that.
It felt like more structure of the match than something Scott Green, the person or the character, would do.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, the match was what it was. It was never going to be a 5-star match. It was never going to be a quick moving match. It was going to be very, like I said when I watched the Russell Riot shows from the 90s. This show is going to be very kick punchy. That was a very kick punchy match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go around with some overall thoughts. Jeff, what did you think of this Sunday Showcase show?
Yeah, look, I think it's really hard to gauge in the overarching story of OPW and if they're even trying to tell stories now. But the wrestling itself was great. Of course it was. I get the feeling there were a lot of Matty Romano fans and MCW fans in the building, and that was about it. So, there you go. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
the MCW part of the MCW cross OPW did a lot of the heavy lifting, I think.
Yeah, well, that's because they actually have a roster. Like OPW don't have a dedicated roster. They because they're not a dedicated company.
And they also don't have a regular venue or regular commentators or ring announcers, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. They don't have that. They haven't. I think they're trying to start doing something out at where's the show, Jeff? Out at God, where was their first show? That Wave one
with
the one where Jesse won the title. No, not Ballarat. No, they've learned that lesson.
In the direction, though, right?
Torquay.
Yes.
Thanks, Andy Savage.
Andy got it with Torquay, and thank you, Nick, as well. Torquay.
Yeah.
So if they stayed out there and did a few more regular shows, you don't have to I don't know how many times I got to tell a lot of these guys, you don't have to fly in internationals. They don't.
Yep.
Especially ones that aren't and no offense to Parker and Shanky, I'm sure they're very lovely people, but they don't move tickets. They just don't. You can put Dusky and Jesse on that poster. You could put Mitch on the poster. And you would sell just as many tickets. If they wanted to run Torquay more, they would probably do quite well, I think.
Yeah, that's the thing that reads to me from this show. The highlight is that, they can get talent from around Australia, because a lot of the people we were highlighting, and look how much fun they were, and in the chat, the names that I was seeing a lot were people were very into Renegade, into Mitch Ryder, into Elijah Henry. It's these people who are from Australia. They're not flying in internationals, but it's not just the same people that you're seeing in MCW all the time. It's some variation from around the country. And I think that went a long way here, and we're going to see that continue. So if you want to check out the MCW OPW Sunday Showcase, good news, it's free on YouTube. You can find it in the description of this podcast, or you can go to YouTube, search for OPW. You'll be able to find it straight away for free to watch. And a lot of it, it's a really good time.
Do you know what it felt like? It felt like a reverse, normal show, where you put the pre-show match on at the end.
Yes,
if you know what I mean. And this is nothing against them. I think that would have been a perfect spot for heading into intermission. Put those two big guys in the way, and then you're completely showcasing the OPW brand at the end of the night with Jesse and Lucas. And maybe that's what felt off about that match, Jesse and Lucas's match, is because it was third match in, and we hadn't even heard of the global title until the day before the show.
Yeah.
So overall really good show. Overall really good. It was, if you wanted to see a different variation of people, a variety of talents that you might not have seen before in Melbourne, this is a really good show for you to get into and to watch.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Let's pivot now.
A nice little tasting plate of Australian wrestling as a whole.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want a tasting plate of Australian wrestling and some of the drama that comes with it, let's have a talk about some of that going on now. Update for anyone who hasn't been following what's going on in Oz Wrestling. There is a company called ACW, Australian Championship Wrestling. To clarify, not Adelaide Championship Wrestling. They're fantastic. Australian Championship Wrestling is yet to put on a show. They reported some time ago that they had purchased All Star Wrestling Australia and were going to use them as a developmental brand. Over the past week, that has fallen apart. I'm now going to read a couple of statements. So this is a post made by All Star Wrestling Australia, an official statement dated May 3rd, 2026. Quote, "We would like to state that All Star Wrestling Australia is not involved and will not be involved in any events currently being promoted under the All Stars name or under any other name except All Star Wrestling Australia. Any prior authorization for the use of All Star Wrestling branding or event names, including A Night to Remember, has been formally withdrawn, and any continued use is not authorized by us. Any representation or suggestion that All Star Wrestling Australia or its organizers are affiliated with these events is incorrect. Further, the All Star Wrestling Tag Team Championships are vacated and are no longer recognized by All Star Wrestling Australia. There is an ongoing matter regarding the return of the championships, which we hope to have rectified soon. We will not be making further public comments at this time and will provide updates if appropriate. All Star Wrestling Australia." So, worth noting off that, the two talents who held the All Star Wrestling Tag Team Championships are signed to contracts with Australian Championship Wrestling that say that they can't wrestle elsewhere unless approved, which is why that vacation of the belts is in there. The following day, and I've got to get my voice ready for this one. 4th of May 2026, Australian Championship Wrestling official statement. Australian Championship Wrestling, ACW, confirms that under a formal agreement with All Star Wrestling, ACW undertook full responsibility for the financial management, production, and overall presentation of the brand, with the intention of elevating it to a higher professional standard. At the time of our involvement, All Star Wrestling was facing operational challenges that placed uncertainty around its immediate future, with the original plan being to cease operations following the April 11th event. A few talents approached ACW requesting that we step in to help stabilize and preserve the platform. In good faith, ACW encouraged a more structured approach, one that would allow the brand to continue to conclude or transition in a way that respected its audience, avoided disappointing its fan base, and created an opportunity for all parties to benefit from a stronger final presentation. As a result, ACW chose not to simply move forward independently, but instead structure an agreement that ensured the existing ownership remained involved and benefited from the continued growth and commercial upside of the brand. This approach led to a strategic kayfabe-style brand acquisition announcement on April 1st, 2026, designed to blur the lines between fiction and reality while generating audience intrigue. The initiative significantly increased engagement around All Star Wrestling, resulting in several hundred new followers and exceeding 100,000 views across digital platforms, further demonstrating the commercial potential of this collaboration. As part of this agreement, ACW committed significant resources into the redevelopment of All Star Wrestling. This included an investment exceeding $20,000 in production alone for the June 20 event, alongside substantial additional expenditure into branding, creative direction, and infrastructure. We designed and produced entirely new championship belts, remake of the existing ones specifically for the June 20 event, custom pieces intended for a one-time showcase, as well as investing in long-term rebranded championship designs for future use. Every element of the brand, from visual identity to event presentation, was carefully rebuilt to reflect a premium, broadcast-ready product. It is also important to highlight that ACW leveraged its extensive business network, both within Australia and internationally, to facilitate and deliver a premium level production. These connections played a key role in enhancing the overall presentation, standards, and positioning of the brand. ACW provided primetime exposure opportunities for All-Star Wrestling talents and management on ESPN, further elevating the visibility and credibility of the brand on a national and international scale. While ACW maintains relationships with larger venues and premium partners, a conscious decision was made to retain the existing venue for this event and future to support and prioritize the local fan base. This reflects our commitment to community engagement, ensuring accessibility for the audience that has supported the brand from its early stages. It is important to note that the venue was not made aware of any plans for All-Star Wrestling to cease operations following the April 11th event. ACW took a responsible and measured approach to ensure continuity, maintain professional relationships, and protect the integrity of all parties involved, ensuring that no long-term partnerships were adversely affected. The structure of the agreement provided that the owner of All-Star Wrestling would receive 30% of profits for each show, while focusing on talent coordination and creative direction, including storyline development. However, despite these expectations, ACW did not receive the level of support anticipated in these areas, and consequently assumed a greater share of responsibilities to ensure the continuity and quality of the product. Despite the level of commitment, investment, and preparation undertaken by ACW, the arrangement was altered with immediate effect without prior notice or a detailed explanation due to a change in direction. While we acknowledge that the circumstances and decisions can evolve in a business, such outcomes do not reflect the standard of planning, communication, and commitment that ACW operates under. At ACW, we're an organization that respects agreements and conducts business with integrity. Lowercase integrity, not the Australian Wrestling Company. Our approach is built on honoring commitments and executing based on clearly defined terms. While we retain the right to pursue formal avenues to protect our position and are fully confident in our standing, we have made a conscious decision not to escalate this matter. Our focus remains on building the future of professional wrestling, not placing unnecessary pressure on individuals or situations that do not align with our long-term vision. In continued good faith, ACW confirms that the All-Star Wrestling name will remain available for independent use by the present owner moving forward, and we wish its ownership success in their future endeavors. ACW will continue to expand its own ecosystem, including the development of ACW All-Stars as a dedicated developmental platform designed for a more intimate and focused showcase on emerging talent. ACW remains committed to delivering professional wrestling at the highest standard. Our focus moving forward is to continue building, investing, and creating opportunities that elevate the industry across Australia and beyond. Regardless of recent developments, the show must go on. We will see you at the Padstow RSL Club for ACW All-Stars, a night to remember, on June 20. Somebody talk. I'm going to take a drink.
Bravo.
Well done. Well done getting through all of that, Lachlan. Kudos, mate.
My main things are commitment to presenting professional wrestling in Australia. Maybe do that. That's a good start. And then the first statement from All Star Wrestling says that ACW do not have authorization to use a night to remember or All Stars. So how are they still putting that show on?
That's a good question.
Shouldn't that have been renamed? Because I guess technically they can use All Stars, but they can't use that a night to remember name, I would assume.
You wouldn't think
I'm
so, but
slightly concerned about this from the perspective of if you've got a show on June 20, you have announced one talent, and it's an incredible talent. I acknowledge that. But if you've got a show on June 20, you start selling tickets by the beginning of May. I checked this week, and the venue doesn't even have the event on their page, on their website. Things like this are must-haves. 5 weeks out, 6 weeks out from an event, you need all this stuff done.
Mm-hmm. Now, with
Alex Fireheart, sorry, I'm just going to read this comment. Alex Fireheart says, "I feel like I know less about what's going on after listening to than I did before Lachlan started." There was a lot of
the Billy Madison moment.
Yeah.
Everything you've just said is dumb, and we are dumber for having listened to it.
Yeah. Now, we actually, we messaged on we commented on the All-Star Wrestling post and asked them a few questions. So we asked, why come out with this statement after a full month of ACW advertising and saying they acquired you to the point where you advertised the last show? 2 was, if there was a sale, does that mean that fell through? And 3, is it a legal matter and that's why no further comment? Now, do you want to read out the answers, Lachlan?
Yeah, let me find the screenshot that was taken because it's definitely here. I've just got to get to it.
It's on the
rundown,
run
sheet now.
I put in the run
fantastic. So they said, "Hi, Lachlan and/or Todd." Credit to them, first of all.
Because Jamie and I don't exist.
Well, we don't have access to the account, so that's fine.
We're the two with the access to the handle. So,
and Jeff, if you had access, you still wouldn't have done this.
Yeah, that's true. Hi, Lachlan and/or Todd. Thank you for the questions. We can't say too much, so apologies for the vagueness, but we'll do our best. 1, the relevant person was notified both before and after advertising that authorization to use our branding was withdrawn. Our final show was promoted as a final Sydney event, which we are still honouring. We do have obligations regionally that we're still committing to throughout 2026 and even into 2027. 2, unfortunately, we cannot comment on this. 3, there is an ongoing matter currently being addressed, which is why we cannot comment further. Really appreciate your questions, and again, we apologize for any vagueness. Now, I'll be straight up. All Star is not a company that I think of in like the upper echelons of Aussie wrestling. I think that this response to these questions was so well handled and professional. Obviously, there's not a lot that they can say right now if they're pursuing some stuff that are legal matters. And as we know from previous comments from ACW management about legal matters, I think All Star is doing a very clever thing in making sure they do not say anything that can get them in trouble later. And taking a better safe than sorry approach on saying anything, I think, is a great call by them.
It's better than the 5-page dissertation that ACW put up.
Which, and again, I'm not going to come out and say this reads like ChatGPT, but this is a whole lot of not quite legalese, but very long-winded
it's
talking around. It's corporate speak. It's not saying what
I
happened.
don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, Jamie, but I get the feeling you and I both deal in press releases and media releases a lot. Todd probably as well. If I received that as a media release, I wouldn't know what to do with it, let alone as a wrestling fan.
Yeah, it's too much.
Too goddamn long. Yeah,
like that's the skill of a press release, to get all the info in a short, concise period. Because as a journalist, a lot of people will, if you don't catch me in that first paragraph, I'm done, and your event doesn't matter to me. Yeah. And
do you think it was designed for people to give up?
Yes, probably.
Yeah,
I think they mentioned investing $20,000 into this show. Like, I've never booked a show. I don't know the financials of a show. That seems like an absurd amount of money to put into a one-off, we're closing the company down show.
It's an absurd amount of money for a show that is where the company is already very established.
That's also true, yeah. It's not like they had to buy a new ring and buy all the new belts for no reason yet.
Yeah, you could probably get away 5 to 10, conservatively, on a brand new show.
And it reads to me like they're talking about an investment exceeding $20,000 in production alone for the June 20 event, is a quote. Over $20,000 for the one event. Now, venue hire can be expensive, right? I don't know what venue and what talent you can get that would exceed $20,000, especially considering there was no talent announced at the time. Right?
Yeah, I gotta ask Brooksy what he's getting, because that's probably 15.
Maybe Brooksy got 15 grand. But I don't think the Padstow RSL is charging an exorbitant fee, so I don't think it's going into venue hire.
No, I don't necessarily know that they're buying a whole lot of lighting rigs to fit the Padstow RSL. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like most of the stuff that you could spend money on.
Somewhere like the Padstow RSL isn't going to be allowing pyro. So,
My guess at something it could maybe be, I wonder if they had invested heavily in perhaps like cameras for filming and microphones and sound mixing equipment. Cost. It's not a one-off.
That's not investing into this one show.
Yeah, that's not a one-off.
It's the same
cost.
with the belts. Like, if they're incorporating the belts into that, that's not an investment in this one show. That's an investment in the company moving forward as a whole.
Yeah, Bloody DJ says, well, they missed the boat. Rudy Hill is where it's at.
Shaggers Ridge. That's where I was born.
We should not look to bury ourselves into this too much, just because there have been several litigious-style threats made to Instagram pages and other things that have attempted to cover ACW.
But this is us not saying what has happened. This is us being just guessing here.
We are openly speculating.
Yeah, we're openly speculating on something that they have put online. So they have put online for it to be like dissected by people to read, to understand. I mean, they've tried it really hard to make you not want to understand, but like that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to work out what are they spending 20 grand on. And if they aren't spending 20 grand, then why throw that number out of there? Because that is an exorbitant amount of money to be spending on something that is a one-off show. Like, I can't even see. I don't even think that World Series would be spending that much money on a show after talent.
No.
Yeah.
And like we've seen tonight, there's a lot of comments have been like, I read that and I don't know what's happening. So like, we're just trying to help decipher it and have it make some form of sense for people moving forward as well.
Yeah. It just sounds like they've had a falling out, is what it sounds like to me.
Yeah. But hey, if someone from ACW wants to come on the show and translate this for us into some more understandable English, you are more than welcome to. We'd love to know some of what's happening back there, because at the moment it seems to an outside observer like a clusterfuck.
It's only been a month, so you never know.
And we talk about them every show, and yet they haven't given us any details of an actual show happening other than this one June 20th show, which is not under their branding.
We honestly try not to talk about them. But if it's a story that it is a relevant story, like say when they've taken, well, quote unquote, taken over a company, and then the company has said, no, they haven't taken us over, that's something we should probably talk about and say what's going on here.
Especially if All Star are saying we told them before they advertised it that they couldn't advertise it anymore. Like, that's concerning.
Yeah, and they're still currently advertising it. And also, if you're spending, no offense, Sue, if you're spending 20 grand on like production and stuff, why do a really bad job photoshopping a belt on Brooksy's photo?
Yep.
Well, they had to take out the All-Star Wrestling logo.
No, because it wasn't that. I think that's the photo of him holding up. It's either the Intercommonwealth or it's the OPW belt. It's one or the other.
I've definitely seen that image. In my head, it's the Intercommonwealth. I could be mixing it up with the OPW. But yeah, like that's a very findable image of Brooksy. You know, so Wild Angel says, why do I get the feeling this is, quote, working the boys sort of situation?
It could be.
Yeah. Like if it ends up being invasion angle, that's terrible. I hate it.
Yeah, it could be, but if it is, that's even worse.
Especially because I believe I did read one of them say somewhere, this is not an angle, this is...
Yeah.
Like if you're going that far...
Yeah, if you were going to do an invasion angle, don't do the purchase thing. Like, just do the invasion.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I think it's time we move on, because there are a bunch of companies around Australia who are running wrestling shows. Let's talk about them. And if you're in New South Wales, you've got options, right? New Noise Underground has Material Girl, which is an 18-plus show that's going to be at the Blackwattle Bar and Brewery in Alexandria on Friday, May the 8th. That's tomorrow night. And
Eagles versus Rita Stone.
Oh, jeepers. And International Wrestling Australia, IWA, has reversed the curse at the Hudson Hotel in Seven Hills. That's on Saturday, May 9th. Up here in Queensland on Saturday, May 9th, Venom Pro Wrestling has Reload 2 at the Atlas Showman's Club. Down in Victoria, you've got lots of options. MXW Wrestling has Doomsday at the Sebastopol Community Hub and Stranger Rings at the Bendigo East Public Hall. Those are on Friday, May the 8th and Saturday, May the 9th, respectively. Mayhem Pro has Colac Carnage at the Colac RSL in, believe it or not, Colac, on Saturday, May the 9th. And Lucha Fantastica has the Anniversary Melbourne at Collingwood Town Hall in Abbotsford on Saturday, May the 9th. Meanwhile, in Western Australia, there's another doubleheader Friday, Saturday. Friday, it's Dude Where's My Rings? I love the name of this event. Skin of a Killer at Seasonal Brewing Company in Marylands. And then the night after, EPW has It Ends at Dusk at the Point Merriwa on Saturday, May 9th. Notably, the main event of It Ends at Dusk for the EPW title is going to have, obviously, Edward Dusk challenging the EPW champion James Hartness. They're going to be tagging the night before at Dude Where's My Ring? It's going to be a belter. And I think they're tagging
against main event.
It's going to be against Lucas Fantasia and Elijah Henry, right? So, chalk that up as a banger to be. There's so much good wrestling happening. And by the way, if you're in Melbourne, there are still tickets available for the Sunday show for World Series Rise Against. That's not this weekend, but next weekend. So I don't think there's any Sunday shows this week. Everyone's off for Mother's Day, but next Sunday, if you're in Melbourne, hey, World Series Wrestling Rise Against is coming. That's up ahead of the next World Series Wrestling tour that's going to be happening, Mega Mania. I'll list off those dates again. You know what? I'll do the talent first, because when I say this new talent announcement, everyone's going to go, oh, when is that? I need to buy a ticket. So already announced Andrade, Shayna Baszler, Sammy Guevara, Killer Cross, Scarlett, and the new announcement, Los Tranquilos de Japón, Bushi, Ryusei, Naito. That's right. Tetsuya Naito is coming to World Series Wrestling Mega Mania. So if you're in Auckland, that'll be at the Dewdrop Event Center at Sir Wolf Fisher Arena on Thursday, October 29th. If you're in Brisbane, it's at the Fortitude Valley Music Hall on Friday, October 30th. In Adelaide, at the Adelaide Entertainment Center on Saturday, October 31st. In Melbourne, at the Melbourne Pavilion on Sunday, November 1st. And in Sydney, at Evans Theatre in the Panthers Penrith on November 2nd. So get on over to worldserieswrestling.com.au to get your tickets for that one, whether it's the Mega Mania tour or for next Sunday, the Rise Against tour if you're in Melbourne. That's going to be an impossibly stacked show. Crazy to hear Naito coming to Australia. It's such a good time for wrestling in Australia right now, and it's a wild time for wrestling around the world. There's so much to talk about between WWE and AEW, and Ted Turner passing away, and there's New Japan stuff coming. It's all going on. So we're going to cut to Jeff talking to Sam and Bed and Breakfast, right? And we're going to come back and talk about everything going on around the world of wrestling right after this.
Sexy Breakfast Boys, Sam Yanis, Ben, and Breakfast. Firstly, Breakfast, let me just comment, you're looking fantastic, mate. It's really impressive.
Man, I'm eating more and more and more. That's what's doing it. Yeah.
You guys are one of our favourite gimmicks. We're loving the SBB. You've gone from the SGB to the SBB.
I've traded the good for
No one else is. No one else is. That's why Wrestle Radio Australia is the premier podcast, right?
Yeah, it means SBB, Sam Ben Breakfast. Sam Ben Breakfast.
Oh, I thought it was Sexy Breakfast Boys.
After about 10 p.m, that's when the Sexy Breakfast.
You just had a killer match tonight with Ryan Rabbit. How are you feeling?
A bit sore, a bit banged up, disappointed. I didn't walk away with the title, but Ryan Rabbit's one of the best in the country. So to even go toe to toe with him,
it was a great match. It really, really was. And fellas, you were part of the Rumble tonight, as was Sam.
We were literally part of it. We were.
Now, you guys are making waves in several promotions at the moment. You're showing up in Oz Pro Wrestling with Andy, and you're showing up in several other places. Sam, you're all over the show. I mean, I can hardly keep up with where Sam is.
Too much Sam Yanis in Victoria.
There's no such thing, mate.
How are you guys feeling about your growth over the last few months and years?
It's much like breakfast belly, it can never get too big, alright?
It's been crazy actually a lot. We 2 years ago, I want to say, started wrestling on PCW on Saturdays. The growth from then has been enormous.
Yeah. And where do you see yourselves winding up? Do you see yourselves as part of the MCW roster, Renegades? Where? Or just anywhere?
Wherever the catering is good, that's where I want to be. That's what we do this for. Get the pulse away from the catering back there so you guys want to talk to me.
I feel terrible.
We'll go straight to Pancake Parlour. We'll go Pancake Parlour after, yeah.
And Sam, obviously you're in a long time tag team with Levi. How are you feeling now you've transitioned to a single start with some help?
Yeah, it feels good to sort of get away and break it off, like on my own, do my own thing. Sort of be in control of what I'm doing. Obviously, Levi's are always around, but somehow we're always meeting up with each other. Normally against each other, or lately, but like maybe one day we'll tag again. But for the moment, I'm enjoying doing my own thing and then being with these boys here. SPD was going to be like a one-off last year, and it's stuck around for I think it's like 8 months now. Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Because it's a different. It's like I've never seen anything like it, and we were all saying how much we popped for it after the show on Thursday.
It's not like we're having a little bit of fun with it. I thought that was really good. We quite enjoyed it. I mean, let's see how long we can actually keep going with this thing. Like you said, it was supposed to be a one-off, but I don't know if it's a blast.
The crowd has been behind us the whole time as well. Like the SBB chants haven't gone away, so as long as the fans keep chanting for us, I guess we'll stick around.
The crowd here at Peace have been very, very, very nice to us since we've started.
We do buy them the juice boxes.
Yeah, I think that might have something to do with it, but
you've got a lot of kids here, so your act would naturally appeal to kids. Are you going to continue to embrace that? Are you going to show a meaner side?
We love it. We love it. It's a nice family friendly, as someone was saying.
Yeah.
And we really enjoy that we can be fun, entertaining people, the kids enjoying.
When those
seeing
cheers
that.
are higher pitched, where's the kids? That's the best.
That's the best. Yeah, that's the
Now-
stuff that keeps us hungry.
Speaking of family friendly, should I mention Oz Pro Wrestling and your erstwhile partner there?
We can talk about that.
He might get a bit of PTSD.
Yeah, are you okay?
I only got the mask off yesterday. He gave his son to it.
I'm really lucky that I had 1, 2, and 3 best friends. Obviously, my other best friend is the family-friendly girl.
Yes.
But that's exactly his name. I won't hear otherwise. That part of it has been really interesting for Bed and Breakfast because we started in Ozpro about a year and a half ago, and we started off, as we are here.
Yeah.
He got injured, he got actually injured, and that kind of kick-started everything to do with my other best friend, and it kind of went down. That part's been really fun to explore in terms of us and Bed and Breakfast, because we've always been in PCW, we've been able to do this aspect of it, which has been really fun. The family-friendly gore stuff has also been very, very fun in completely different ways, and he's just the best guy ever. The friendliest guy, such a nice guy.
Besides me, he's great.
Yeah.
Next to Sam.
Because we know it was Ryan Rapid that, it wasn't.
Well, look, guys, continued success. We do love the act on Wrestle Radio, and thank you for stopping by to have a chat outside the facilities here. And great match tonight again, and all the best, fellas. Thank you.
Welcome back to Making Chicken Salad. We are here to talk about everything going on around the world of wrestling, and we'll lead off with a big news story, not just within the world of wrestling, but within media in general. The passing of Ted Turner, obviously within wrestling, very important as the person who kind of kickstarted WCW, which was on Turner's broadcasting network. He was a wrestling fan who wanted wrestling, and that's where we see AEW today. He was 87 years old. He revealed a diagnosis of dementia in 2018, so, about 8 years ago. A lot of people, I've seen posts saying, I thought he was already dead after he was hospitalized with pneumonia in January of last year. So there's been ongoing health issues for Ted for some time, but now he has passed at 87. I'll admit that in my life, he was not much of a figure other than flashbacks to billionaire Ted. You know what I mean? Because by the time I was into wrestling, WCW was gone, and AEW kind of exists in a version of Turner Broadcasting that never had Ted Turner at the helm, right?
That's so weird to me that there's a whole generation of people that will think of AEW as being the competition to WWE.
Yeah.
And that's the big war, not WCW.
Well, it's definitely more one-sided, this war, but it's been going on longer, hasn't it, at this point?
No. Well, not really,
Yes.
because...
Yeah.
AEW's been on...
Well, but WCW, yeah, but not like NWA. Because before WCW was WCW, NWA existed.
Yeah,
if it wasn't for Ted, yeah, but it's not what it was.
No.
NWA was WCW. That's what the Crockett family owned NWA, and NWA in, was it Carolina or Atlanta or wherever it was, where they were in their pocket of the world.
It was in the Carolina.
Yeah,
it was in the Carolinas.
So they were
the territory. It was JCP, Jim Crockett Productions, originally owned, as you mentioned.
I've got a Jim
owned
Crockett Productions shirt.
Nice. And then they got into financial peril and sold it, and Turner bought them out, basically.
Yes, because Turner realized that it was the biggest draw on his network. Every Saturday night at 6:05, people in that area of the world tuned into WCW, World Championship Wrestling, NWA. That's what they watched. They watched Dusty, and they watched Rick, and they watched the Horsemen, and all of that whole thing that it encompasses. And then for a while there, when Vince wanted to do his takeover, he actually bought the time slot of 6:05 on TBS, the Superstation. And the ratings tanked because that wasn't the wrestling that those people grew up on. Where's my Dusty? Where's my Rick? To the point where they got rid of WWE and brought them back. Crockett's ran out of money because they were silly with their investments. They were running around like they were WWE now when they weren't making nearly that money. They had private jets that were flying wrestlers to and from shows. They were doing that. So Jim Crockett ran out of money, and Ted bought the thing and took it over because he wanted wrestling on the Superstation because that drew revenue for him.
Yeah, it was like more of a self-preservation thing to begin with rather than I like wrestling 100%. Thing.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. He liked wrestling,
but he always he always said that while he was in charge, wrestling will not move. Wrestling will be part of the Turner Broadcasting Network. And famously, he was the one who announced the signing of Hogan. There's some famous footage of him going,
because that's where Eric had organised all of that. To the big press release was Ted saying we brought him to WCW. But if it wasn't for Ted, like you said, every year TNT or Turner executives would come up to Ted and say, "Hey, about this wrestling thing, let's get rid of it.
Let's get rid of it
every year. Let's get rid of it. It's a money loser. Let's get rid of it." To the point where apparently at one boardroom meeting, Ted did stand up and say, "As long as I'm in charge, as long as I'm drawing air in this network, wrestling will always be on TNT." And that was the case until they got bought out by who bought them out? Time Warner.
Time Warner.
Time Warner bought them out.
Time Warner and Jamie Kellner was the executive who made the decision in the end to remove WCW.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for Ted, the Monday Night Wars would never have happened at all. Mm-hmm. Like there would have been no 83 weeks. Because it was Ted in a meeting with Eric saying, "What do you guys need to be able to compete with WWE?" And Eric just spurted out, we need to be live. And Ted just looked at whoever it was and went, "Give him 2 hours Monday night live, like prime time." And that's how Nitro was born. And without Nitro, none of that would have happened. NWO, the Monday Night Wars, none of that would have happened. So Ted has shaped, by proxy at least, pro wrestling in the world, let alone America, by more ways than what a lot of people think. A lot of people are sort of like Eric's vision and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, to a very distinct point, yes, it was. But if it wasn't for Ted saying and putting his foot down and going, "Give him this time, make him go live."
Yeah.
And
they lost an incredible amount of money in a year, but after their big thing,
and with no NWO as a result of that, then there's no Stone Cold Steve Austin and there's no Rock going to Hollywood. You know what I mean? All of that is born out of it doesn't happen without Ted Turner deciding we do wrestling here.
Yes.
And then
at one time he was like he I think he was a part owner of the Hawks. He owned the Braves. He owned WCW. He was it in Atlanta. That was Ted Turner's town.
And then obviously today, with the news of the passing, AEW had a tribute to him at the start of the show, which was really, really well done. It wasn't just here's a graphic, Ted Turner passed away. They actually had Tony go up there and Shivani go up there and give a heartfelt message, and then Sting came out and gave a message as well. It was just really well done. I was a 10-bell salute. They went the whole 9 yards in honoring Ted Turner. It was really well done. It's just kind of eerie they were in South Carolina today as well.
But it is like AEW is the bastard stepson of WCW, really.
Yes.
So they are the most appropriate people to do a tribute.
Yeah. Jeff?
Yeah, I can't see I can't see SmackDown doing that much for him. Maybe a graphic and an acknowledgement.
I can see a graphic for
that'll
sure.
be about it.
If there isn't at least a graphic, that seems pretty cold and rude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From that company at the moment, that would be a surprise.
I kind of think that's one of those things that like Hunter / Paul would be very big on. Like, we will recognize this person.
I do.
I'm trying to work. Oh, Terror Rising. That's who you're talking about.
No, Jean-Paul Levesque.
Jean-Paul Levesque. That's right. So yeah, condolences to the family of Ed Turner. A very important figure.
Hodgtism's coming out again.
Yeah, that's
Jean-Paul.
right.
Yeah, no, it's the only thing I'm good at.
Let's look over at WWE now. On Saturday, the New Day, Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston parted ways with WWE. Their departure was reportedly a mutual decision between them and the company. JC Mateo and Tonga Loa have also left. It was later reported that the duo was asked to restructure their contracts. Mike Johnson at PW Insider reported, quote, a pretty majorly pushed WWE talent was asked to take a 50% pay cut and allegedly did. He added, I'm not naming the talent because I have no way yet to confirm this was the case, but the timing of that claim and what happened the very next day, Kofi and Woods' departures, was very, very interesting, to say the least. As always, until fully confirmed, take that for what it is, but the timing, especially coming out of WrestleMania season, is notable. Fightful's Sean Ross Sapp confirmed the report, writing, quote, a number of people were asked to take pay cuts. This is after, Jamie, you looked at some of the pay structure for the people up in high levels in TKO, and they were pretty major, right?
Yeah, some big pay increases for them. I'm just pulling it up again because I've lost it.
While you do that, I'll just quickly. Apparently, it was like 6 people had been asked. So not like 30 odd people. They've gone, hey, you need to take a pay cut. It was like 6 people. And I'm imagining what they've done is they're going, okay, these 6 people we haven't had on TV in fucking X amount of months. Why are you guys paying him this much? Like, you need to go and sort that out. And because with a lot of it would be the case. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I read that it wasn't that. It was about the house shows and the amount of house shows they're not doing compared to the amount that they were when this talent signed their deals. So I don't even think it's as much about television appearances. I think it's about house shows.
It kind of ties in. What I'm saying is they've looked at them like, how often are we actually using these people? We're not using them very often at all. Why are we paying them this much? Like, the rationale is coming from, and this was from Brian Alvarez, was like, they're not doing the way that the company apparently might be seeing it is like, you're not doing 4 house shows a week. You're doing 1 TV a week. You're not having to have to fly there or there. You don't have to rent cars. You don't have to do any of this anymore. You're on 1 pay-per-view a month. Maybe. Why are we paying you exorbitant amounts of money for it? Which, like, from a company reason I can understand, but also from a overall reason, that's kind of your bad. You signed that contract with these guys. When the contract runs out, then you renegotiate that contract.
Yeah.
If they'd have given them a note and say, hey, look, your contract runs out on like this date, when it does, we're going to have to renegotiate because you're not doing the same work schedule that you used to.
Yep.
Which I would have been completely I understand that completely.
Yeah. But WWE's the one not putting on the house shows for them to wrestle on, right? So, like, that's the decision from them.
Yes.
Like, New Day were on
these people are turning down house show dates.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. No one's turning down any dates. It's just they're just not doing them.
Yeah. So,
and it just shows that, like, those contracts are not worth the paper they're written on, really, because they can cut you at any time, or can say, oh, you signed a deal last year for 5 years, but we want to renegotiate it a year in. It's like, come on, that's not really feasible. But I found those figures, and it was, so we had in 2024, Ari Emanuel, the TKO CEO, went from $18 million in 2024 to a $67 million payment in 2025. Mark Shapiro, the COO of TKO, went from $32 million to $43 million. And then Nick Khan went from 6 million up to 24 million, a 304% increase.
See, the Nick Khan one is the one that I find kind of the most egregious because he really only just handles WWE. Yeah. Whereas the other two, like Ari and who was the other guy? Sorry, top of my head.
The CLO.
Shapiro.
Shapiro. Those two, they handle WWE, UFC, bull riding, everything that's under the TKO umbrella is their thing, and it's all done on. Like I know a lot of them because when you look at the breakdown, they're not just like bonus. Like one of them, I think, like Khan's biggest thing is through stock bonuses. Is his biggest?
Yes,
like,
it'd be stock options.
Yeah, stock options is his biggest part of that cut. I think it's shitty, but like if I understand like they're making them the money, so they're technically under their contracts that they signed, they're earning that money. It's shitty that they're passing on like the whoever said you need to make these cuts are passing that down. But that's always the way in every fucking job, though, isn't it?
That's
really
corporate for you.
That's corporate everywhere. It doesn't matter if you're wearing tights or bloody swinging a hammer.
Yeah, but if you're swinging a hammer, no one comes up to you and goes, "Hey, you swung that hammer 3 times less yesterday. We're going to dock your pay X amount."
Yeah, they kind of do, bro. I don't know if you know anything about a KPI. They kind of do.
Yeah,
if you don't meet KPIs,
yes,
you get.
You're aware of yeah, but Todd, you're aware of your KPIs when you enter a workplace, right? You're aware of them.
Yeah.
They're not pulled out at you halfway through your contract.
No, and I agree with that completely. What do they say off the top? They let the contracts run.
Yeah.
And then say, hey, look, we signed shitty contracts. We were in a place where we had to compete with. Yeah. But at the moment, they're like, go and do the whole thing with Tony. That's cool. You like, if you want to earn that money, that's
let's
sick.
be honest. Woods and Kofi are going to be huge wherever they end up if Kofi continues or if Woods continue. You know, no matter what, Woods and Kofi are fine.
Well, they Tony's under that much pressure to sign them from FTR and the Young Bucks and Kenny.
Yeah.
There's no way these guys aren't getting signed. Yeah.
No.
So, but the thing is,
you
look at it though, and all these guys that take like whoever it is that, and this is the funniest thing I think that when Mike Johnson said a Major League Push was asked to take 50% pay cut and allegedly did. I'm not naming the talent because I have no way to confirm it. So it either didn't happen or it did happen. He doesn't know, but he's saying it's just something I heard that this guy said yes. It's. Do you know what? Like if I'm WWE though, I'm like go and take. If you want to go to TNA, AEW, take the money. If you want to work in front of like 550,000 people a week, you should have let me know. I would have put you on NXT. Like it's that's the difference between them. Like you work for us, you get seen by 3 million people a week. That's their draw. And that's what leads them to getting other things, like your movies, your TVs, your sponsorship deals, all of that.
Yeah, but I'm not arguing with you for a second, but if you're already creatively frustrated, like the New Day probably were, I can't speak for them, obviously, but if you look at their heel turn and what they did with it, and WWE of late have a track record of turning people heel and then doing absolutely nothing with them. So if you look at that, you're creatively frustrated, you're going to get your pay cut in half, you may as well walk. You've already got bank. Yeah. Like those guys are already making.
When you're those guys, yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Big ups to them for being like, no, we know we're worth more than that. Whether it's
good on
jumping straight over to AEW, which is like obviously the door is open for them to walk in if they want to. But even if they just want to do an indie run and just like prove that we are legitimately the best tag team in the world.
Or you're Austin Creed who can stream for a living for the rest of your life and play video games and do whatever you like.
Yeah, well, apparently they tried to offer him a different deal to just do the streaming.
No, it was to do like mocap and stuff for the games.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, they just wanted him as like in a creative role with the games.
Yeah, but I thought the streaming was tied in with it, with him and Tyler Breeze.
So I'm not sure what the deal is with Up Up Down Down. Whether I would assume that Woods still owns that and can take it if he wants to, but there might be some weird legalities with it. So it'll be interesting to see what he does with that. Whether he can take that, or does he have to start a whole new channel and start fresh? But he's got that audience where you can just put a tweet out and be like, oh, I'm not on Up Up Down Down anymore. I'm on left right down right.
And look, he's been advertising his post WWE name for the past how many years, right? So
yeah,
on him, Jeff.
Just on that, according to Sportskeeda, Xavier Woods, it is owned by WWE. Up Up Down Down is owned by WWE.
I also trust Sportskeeda about as much as I trust Dave.
Yeah, but
we'll see.
I searched it out.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens there. Speaking of seeing what happens, Chelsea Green is planning to be back at work soon, despite recently undergoing a heart procedure. On Monday night, the former WWE Women's United States Champion revealed that she had undergone a procedure to correct an abnormal heart rhythm, SVT. Green had been dealing with the issue for years, and doctors were finally able to catch and fix things. Green sent out a tweet today noting that she had an episode around WrestleMania 42, where her resting heart rate skyrocketed to 228 beats per minute for a nearly 15-minute stretch. That ultimately led to Green undergoing this procedure, which was minimally invasive and should allow her to be back in WWE soon. Quote, after 10 years of dealing with it, we finally caught my SVT, Green wrote. My latest episode during WrestleMania pushed my resting heart rate to 228 for almost 15 minutes. Yesterday, Dr. Gergis spent 3 hours working on me, and I had to be awake for the last hour of the procedure. Thankfully, it was minimally invasive, and I'll be back to work very soon. SVT is supraventricular tachycardia, is described as a, quote, common kind of arrhythmia, abnormal heart rhythm, that starts in the upper chambers of the heart and causes it to beat too fast. It can sometimes cause chest pain or dizziness. That is so high for a heart rate. That is so high.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
Yeah, I don't think my heart rate's ever got to that running.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I think if she was any less fit, I think that if Chelsea was any less like fit in terms of cardiovascular capabilities, we wouldn't have Chelsea Green anymore. Unfortunately,
she might be in trouble.
So
that would be described as
inducing,
or that would just be described as a heart attack. Like that, if you're at 228 for 15 minutes, they'd just call it a heart attack, and they'd say it was debilitating for life at least. So I'm really, really good to hear that she's doing okay, that she's gotten through the surgery. The idea of being awake for an hour while someone is performing heart surgery on you is insane. Like wild stuff. So it's really good to hear that. Hopefully that's not going to keep her away from the ring for too long. But as Wild Angel says, Chelsea, please don't rush a return. The important thing is that she's healthy, you know? A couple of other quick pieces of WWE news. We've got some new names confirmed. Evil is from New Japan Pro Wrestling is now Naraku, which is...
Thank God.
Yeah.
Because that other name that was rumored...
Nox Raijin was terrible.
Oh my God. I heard that and when Brian Alvarez said, I'm like, there is no way. Why would they do that? And then when you put it in our chat, I'm like, I breathed a sigh of relief and like, thank God.
So Naraku is like hell or like void. It also is a word that literally describes the basement of a theater, which I think is interesting. Go, Jeff.
Or abyss.
Or abyss.
Naraku
yes.
can also mean abyss.
This is what I'm worried about now.
Yeah, Andy Savage said, didn't I read today that Nox Raijin is for Hiromu?
Quite possibly could be. Because if it wasn't
terrible.
Evil, yeah. I'm not saying it was bad for him. I'm just saying it was bad all over.
Knox Ryzen's rough. We've also got a new name for Will Cruz, who is now going by the name Mason Rook, which is fun because it's kind of like an anagram of the last name that was already there. And he had a belter of a debut after the main event in NXT. Moving on to what it's going to look like coming up ahead in WWE. Backlash is going to be in Australian time. It's going to be on Sunday. Here's what we've got so far on the card. World Heavyweight Champion Roman Reigns is going to defend against Jacob Fatu. The United States Champion Trick Williams will defend against Sami Zayn. That's going to be airing on ESPN2, as is Seth Rollins versus Bron Breakker. We're also going to have Io Sky versus Asuka. There's going to be The Miz and Kit Wilson versus Danhausen and a TBD tag team partner. And John Cena is going to be there, and he has some, quote, history-making news. Worth mentioning that there was something that Michael Cole said in a pre-record about Danhausen finding a partner who loves money or something along those lines. Rumors going around of Shane O'Mac filling that role. Although I did love the tweet Danhausen put out where he just tagged like every person that he could think of, asking them to be
Kurgan popped me huge.
Kurgan
popped me huge.
Kurgan was so funny.
And that's the thing, is Danhausen still just gets me to laugh every time for this nonsense.
I mean, it could be Pepsi Phil.
That's who I would have their best friends.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
Even if he just wears like a funny mask that's got like a dollar sign on it or something. And it's just...
But then there was... I've heard other ones like
Phil, but with a dollar
Trevor
sign.
Lee was... I heard Trevor Lee was an option, or... But yeah, I don't know. Do we want to do a quick...
I'd love it if it's Barrett.
I can throw one together. Let's do some predictions really quickly. So who do we have in Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu? Start with someone. I'm making a table.
Reigns.
Jamie. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Roman, but because he is not doing Saudi, there's that maybe they do this thing through a quick turnaround as a shocker. But then they have booked him very strong going into it.
Jamie?
Yeah, I think Roman.
Peggy's too sick for the show, but good enough to come in here to talk to us. Thank you, thank you, Peggy. Too sick for Jamie, but good for us. I understand. It's the Lachlan love.
I can see why she wouldn't want to spend time here. That's fine. Yeah, I think Roman, just because of the
everyone in Melbourne hates me, but I know I got Peggy on side.
Well done, you found a Canadian. Woo.
That's right. All right, so we're all picking Roman Reigns and Roman versus Jacob Fatu. For the US title, are we thinking Trick Williams or Sami Zayn?
It's got to be Trick.
Trick.
Whip that Trick.
It's going to be Trick.
Jamie, any chance you're going different?
Be Trick.
I'm going to say Sami just to be different. I'll probably end up losing now because of it.
Contrarian.
What about Io Sky versus Asuka? Who have you got, Jeff?
Ooh, this one tugs at Jeff's heartstrings right now. He says, Kyrie, she's going to come back and win it.
It's going to be a fucking... No, she's not. It's going to be a great match. Like, there's no way this is not going to be good. I think Asuka's going to win.
Asuka for Jeff. I'm going with Io. Jamie, who have you got?
I will say Io as well. She's too big a favorite.
And Todd?
Yeah, Io.
Excellent. Then we've got Seth Rollins versus Bron Breakker. I'm going to go ahead and pick Seth for this one. Who are you picking, Jamie?
Bron with the help of Bronson.
Ooh, an exciting call. Jeff?
He drew back.
He did tweet that he's ready to fight.
Yeah, I've got Bron as well. I got Bron as well in a way that will continue the feud. So either Bronson or Paul Heyman tripping or the.
I
the
picked Seth because I think
coming
there's
out.
going to be an attack afterwards that keeps the feud going.
I think Braun.
Absolutely. Miz and Wilson versus Danhausen and someone. I think it's got to be the Danhausen team. So I'm going to just put Hausens. Todd, who have you got?
Yeah, Team Hausen.
Team Hausen. Jeff?
Punkhausen. Or, the Hausens. It might not be Punkhausen, but the Hausens.
Yeah, it's club run time.
Toxic.
All right, I'm going to put in an extra prediction for who is Hausen. And Jamie, you're saying Punkhausen?
Yes.
Jeff, you're also saying Punkhausen?
Yeah, you would think so.
I'm going to say Shane O'Hausen. And Todd?
Oh, please don't.
I love that just for the name.
Yeah, same. Jeez. It could be anyone. That's the thing. They can just fucking sign anybody and bring him in. That's the thing that's messing with my head.
Yeah, it could just be some random celebrity. JBL loves money.
JBL does love money. Nah, it's got to be Punk, I reckon.
And for our final prediction, pick something ridiculous. Go for it. History-making news. What news could make history? I think it's going to be something horrifically boring. So I'm going to try and think of what could possibly make history technically. You know what I mean? Anyone got any predictions for what this big news is?
Travis Scott is back.
I'm predicting there's a permanent Hall of Fame being built in Saudi Arabia.
Oh.
Which, by the way, too, I know we didn't cover that, but they are still planning to go there in June for Clash of Champions.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
unless
something really big happens.
I like Ophelia Payne's prediction that the history-making news is prices of Club WWE.
$10,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be something to do with Club WWE where you get like something crazy for it. I don't know. You get John Cena's
I think there are going to be at least 5 ads across the broadcast for Club WWE. I just think it's going to be, you know how Mania was basically the Hulk Hogan show. This will be Club WWE all through it.
So you're predicting that his news is Club WWE related as well?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I think Survivor Series goes to 2 nights.
Ooh,
that was my other thing. Which other pay-per-views go in 2 nights?
That'd make history, all right.
Because they do.
Then you have a women's one and then a men's
money.
one on the main event on each night.
That tracks.
Unfortunately,
they do love selling out
a
stadium twice.
Saudi Evolution. Now that all right, let's head on over to AEW.
That just came to me. And that's fucking like I actually think I might have won that one.
Yeah, you might have it. 2 nights Survivor Series. Let's head on over to AEW. A story was posted by John McCullen, who cited claims from agent Nicola Piccolo that AEW was, quote, given a heads up regarding the sale of Warner Brothers Discovery in order for the company to potentially, quote, prepare a contingency plan if new ownership went in a different direction. AEW and Warner Brothers Discovery have refuted those claims. Quote, both AEW and Warner Brothers Discovery have refuted multiple industry sources' claims that Warner Brothers Discovery informed Tony Khan and AEW in the summer of 2025 that the plan was for WBD to be sold and others would be making the decisions on further programming, end quote. The idea by sources outside AEW that WBD CEO David Zaslav personally informed Khan that a sale was coming was vehemently denied, with the explanation that no showrunners were informed, including Khan. Wow, that was a lot of words. Okay, this is a lot of nothing, I think.
Well, from what I read, because I actually read Nick Piccolo's thing, and what he actually said was he said that AEW were informed, or Tony Khan has been told, that they will not be picking up the the option because they're signed to, was it 2027 with an option for 2028. And for what Nick LaPiccolo has said is that they've told them we're not going to pick the option up for 2028, so you better start looking for somewhere else to go in 2028. And that Nick hasn't really told anybody yet or done that, which, like, it's no big fucking mystery here that they've been, like, selling. There have been bidders and suitors left, right, and center for that thing. It was like Paramount and then Netflix and, like, so that's no mystery. So that's where that part of the story makes no fucking sense to me at all. Because there's been no mystery that they've been selling. They've been selling for fucking years.
Yep.
The options thing, I actually see that as a very viable option. Because if you're looking to sell, and that might end up around the end of 2027, you want to cut the costs of your outgoing as much as possible. And that costs, how much are they getting paid a year? 100 and...
Yeah, but on that, they've already agreed to a figure. Now it's just a matter of regulatory approval. So there's no point cutting price costs now because you've already agreed a figure. It's also like,
I don't know. I just think
that was 2025. That was before they were putting pay-per-views on Max. It was before they were getting all of these extended 2-3 hour block, like 3 hour blocks, 2 hour blocks on random days, extra shows, 30-40 minute overruns on 2 hour, 3 hour shows. So like I just think like WBD know they have a pretty good thing going with AEW. And Nick LaPiccolo has, like I mentioned, has been called out for a whole bunch of bullshit in the past that people don't really...
of stuff that he's apparently done, but then a lot of the predictions he's made or stuff that he said were actually dead on. Like, he is a fairly, like, industry insider. And I know he's obviously got a thing against Tony and Dave Meltzer, of course, because he represents Punk and he represents, oh God, what's her name? She worked in AEW. Storm is coming.
Oh, Cargill.
Cargill.
Jade, yeah.
Cargill.
She represents those two at least. So I know he does have but like, he does have a fair amount of like industry inside knowledge. It would not surprise me though if they said at this current moment in time, we're not going to extend you.
What I will say is...
Go on, sorry.
I was just going to say that Nick LaPiccolo versus David Zaslav sounds like it would happen right before a Bruno Sammartino title match. So let's move on. And unfortunately, after that stupid joke, we've got to go to something a little bit serious, which is AEW's Rebel. Tanea Brooks has revealed that she's been diagnosed with terminal ALS. She posted a health update to social media on Friday announcing the diagnosis. This sucks. There's not much more to say about it than that. This is a sucky story. Thoughts are with her because that's rough. That's not the news we wanted. So,
no. Poor girl is in for a very, like, I want to say an uphill battle, but there's not much to go uphill for when you're terminal, unfortunately.
Yeah. And also, AEW and like Tony Khan have been paying for all of that medical, which is a really good thing for like that side. They paid for all of Ospreay's surgery. They paid for all of Eddie Kingston's surgery. So they look after their talent pretty well from the sound of things.
It's really
but what they do, like, but I'm pretty sure that they do it differently to...
Rebel was great. Rebel got over by saying nothing.
I'm pretty sure they do it differently to WWE, whereas like the actual people have to pay up front and then AEW reimburse them. Well, I don't know if that was the case in these stations, though. I would assume not to.
I suspect for Will and Eddie, who they're big fans of, and Rebel, who probably wouldn't have been able to afford a lot of these tests and things she's had to deal with, Tony was probably backing it.
Yeah.
I would say so. Looking,
there was a long time where she had no idea what was wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's like, was it Maria Kanellis? She went through the same sort of thing. Whereas for a long time, she had no idea what was wrong. She just knew she wasn't well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looking forward in AEW, Double or Nothing is coming up on May 24th. We've got 2 matches confirmed so far. An international title match with Kazuchika Okada defending against Konosuke Takeshita, which has Lachlan written all over it. And a New York Street Fight I Quit match for the AEW Tag Team titles with FTR defending against Adam Copeland and Christian Cage. There will obviously be 11 more matches added to that card, so we'll keep an eye on that going
Was
forward.
that other thing solidified today, or was it just a cliffhanger, Jamie?
Today there was a challenge put out by Darby Allin to MJF for a title versus hair match that Max did not answer. He just scurried away. So we'll see what the answer and outcome to that is next week.
Darby found MJF's weakness, a trip to Turkey.
Where I'll just address, because No Soul Rose has asked a question in the chat. We're going to do one more news story, and then we're going to do our segment, What Do You Want to Talk About? So our first question will be Rosie's question. If you have any questions for What Do You Want to Talk About, you can start getting them in the chat now while we cover this last story, which is Wrestling
going deep
Dontaku
tonight, aren't we?
and NJPW. 3 titles changed hands at Dontaku. The IWGP Global Heavyweight Champion Yota Tsuji lost his belt to Andrade El Idolo. Then on night 2, the IWGP Junior Tag Team titles were the first to change when Mystico and El Desperado defeated the Ichiban Sweet Boys, Kosei Fujita and Robbie Eagles, to win the titles for the first time as a team. The duo scored a double submission win, with Mystico applying the La Mystica, while Desperado applied a stretch muffler. And in the co-main event, the Never 6-Man Tag Team Championship changed hands when Will Ospreay, Grado Khan, and Hanare defeated Bishamon and Oleg Boltin to win the titles for the first time as a trio. Ospreay scored the win for his team, connecting with an assisted hidden blade on Yoshihashi for the victory. Not a good time for champions in New Japan. And Alex Fireheart mentions not a good time for them in Noah either, with Shane Haste taking that Noah GHC title. So that's really
Well, it's kind of a good time for them in there.
Well, not a good time for the champion.
Yeah, not a good time for the former champion.
Not a good time for the champion. Yeah.
No. Yeah, absolutely. So lots going on over there, but you know, there's so much to talk about in wrestling, and we get to make the decisions so often. So I think it's time for us to ask everybody in the chat, hey, what do you want to talk about?
What do you guys want to talk about? What do you want to talk about? What do you guys want to talk about? What do you want to talk about? What do we want to talk about?
Now, I really like that in a couple of those. Cody Rhodes clearly sounds like he's soused. What do you guys want to talk?
He's been hanging out. I don't know about South, but he was probably hanging out in the tour bus with Jay. I'm not wrestling tonight, Jay. What are you doing?
So quickly, we'll get the important one out of the way. No Soul Rose asks, hey guys, great show. Quick question. Do you think Scooby-Doo ever called Shaggy by his name properly or always just called him Raggy? Now, I will say, Rosie, I don't think that Scooby would be able to get his mouth around the name Norval, which, as we all know, is Shaggy's real name. So I just don't think that was ever a possibility.
You talk about my autism, Jamie.
You are a massive nerd. And also, I think it's a bit hard for dogs to say S's.
Yeah, I think it's almost...
And also,
I kind of feel like that's a little bit racist there from Soul. Like, would you say that about another nationality?
Shaggy... So, Rosie, what if Shaggy's real name is Raggy and everyone else has been saying it wrong?
Rose says, I want to fight Lachlan even more now.
Make it happen.
It's taken a while, but people are finally seeing what Lachlan's actually like.
Rosie,
it's taken a while.
You'll have to take a number. Every wrestler in the state of Victoria seems to want to fight Lachlan.
He's closer than the Victorians, to be fair.
Babyface on stage, heel in real life. Heel on stage, babyface in real life. I've been misunderstood this whole time. Lachlan has been the asshole. What does that look for, Jamie? Shut up.
I have some messenger chats that disagree, Todd. But yeah,
what are you talking about?
Wild Angel, in response to what the big announcement could be, says King of the Ring announcement, ? I would love to see King of the Ring come back. I just don't know that it works as a one-night tournament. I wonder if we see something like Survivor Series host if it's a two-night Survivor Series, they also put King of the Ring on there. That would make sense to me, to get King of the Ring in one event while also having it be a two-night event without just suddenly having a two-night King of the Ring pay-per-view. Right? Macho Man Andy Savage says, why can't I ever get food at local wrestling shows? The most you get is popcorn or chips. Do they not trust us to not throw shit?
Yes.
That must be a Victorian thing.
We get some good food trucks.
No.
Yeah.
Just to correct you, Andy, I went to PCW on Saturday night, and thanks again to the hosts at PCW for making me feel so wonderful. They had hot dogs, Mayhem Pro, as Michael at Moonsault Press is saying. They love a sausage sizzle. Lots of places are selling food. Might just be where you're heading.
Maybe it's just you, mate. Maybe they don't trust you.
Yeah, that's right. I also know, I think we talked about it last week. If you go to Pro Wrestling League, it's at the pub. You go downstairs, you get a good schnitty, right?
A really good schnitty.
Yeah, the thing is, you have to eat it before you go into the show. You can't take that into the show.
That's true. That's true.
Like, I can't get a burger and take it and sit in my seat and watch the wrestling.
Unfortunately. Wild Angel says, I'll never forget the sausage Jake Nova chucked at me before a match. Todd is a bad influence.
Well, we gave out food. We're feeding the needy. What's your problem?
Yeah, free sausages.
And you say you're the baby face. Okay, look.
I am. We fed the homeless, obviously.
The show is called Making Chicken Salad, so we're going to talk about...
I have more questions, you know.
Fire them off.
People sent in questions here. Like, we do the anonymous link, so if they don't want to be anonymous...
I didn't realize
they
that's
can
why
be
they weren't coming
anonymous.
through chat. I thought we were out. Go for them, Tom.
No. The first question, if you guys didn't do this as a show, would you be watching this much Australian wrestling? Would you be watching this much Australian wrestling, boys?
I can say for me, no.
I think I watched...
Sorry, go on, Jeff.
I was going to say, I think I would still watch a fair bit because of the WrestleBrania thing. Probably not to the extent that I watch now, but I like, what a great fringe benefit to do this on a Thursday and get to watch some of the finest Oz wrestling. You know, sign me up. And right now, let's be honest, we've all said it numerous times, Oz wrestling is the best in the world. It's certainly better than WWE at the moment.
Yeah, fully agree. I'll say that before I was doing the podcast, I watched about the same amount of wrestling, but I find that I've been replacing international shows that I was watching with Australian shows a lot of the time, right? Like, I'm not going to go out of my way to go, oh, I haven't watched wrestling this week. Let's go find a progress show to watch or something, right? Like, I still catch a lot of shows, but I find that, and especially because I really like the Australian shows, it's great to, you know, have somewhere where we're going, hey, what's a show that came out this week? Oh, let's watch PCW. You know, like I wouldn't have that PCW network subscription if it wasn't for this show, because it was just not one of the big companies that I was paying a lot of attention to. But now I get to watch PCW. Hell yeah. Macho Man Andy Savage says, I watch a lot more interstate stuff because of this show, which is always a positive. Jamie, obviously you've got the cards, so you were already keeping a close eye on stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if I watch... before I joined, I wasn't watching as much of the actual shows. I was kind of keeping tabs on everyone on socials and highlights and things like that. So I think this has been a good way to get exposed to the overall scope of Australian wrestling. And yeah, beforehand I was watching like the major ones and PWA, MCW, but a lot more companies now putting a lot of stuff on YouTube too has also made it a lot more accessible. Like MCW used to have, you had to have the subscription. EPW you still do, but they put some stuff up, and Riot City Wrestling are putting up their stuff. PWA is live on YouTube, which is great. Pro Wrestling League are consistently putting stuff on YouTube now, so there's a lot more exposure to Australian wrestling, which I'm enjoying.
Todd, you were always watching a lot of Aussie wrestling.
Yeah, sadly, I still would be. I'd be watching the same amount of wrestling. I just wouldn't be doing it for a show.
No Soul Rose in the chat just says, on the subject of food, why aren't we allowed to bring food into the cinema? They always complain that my grill is, quote, causing a lot of smoke. Nanny state. Yeah, absolutely agree, Rosie. It's the woke mob. They just, things aren't the way they used to be. Alex Fireheart says, do you guys think Shane Haste's big title win will potentially break down the door for other Aussies to eventually have big singles title wins in Japan? Or does this feel a bit too specific a situation given Shane's previous history with Noah? I'll say that from my perspective, I think that Aussies are going up and up and up. I don't know that this is specifically something that will break barriers. I feel like this is a step that was always going to happen where we see an Aussie get a top belt somewhere. It just feels like the next step. Todd, sorry I stepped on you there.
I was going to say, I kind of feel like Robbie already did that. Do you know what I mean? I feel like Shane is probably like in the not overly large footsteps of Robbie in like winning that title. Like Shane,
small joke.
Yeah, because he's small. He's short.
Well, he had the junior heavy title in New Japan, right? Which is like not the top title in the company, but it's a bigger company, so it's
only because he's a small lad. You can't. It's hard for them to win. Like look at Kushida. Kushida never got a chance for that because he's a small lad. Nothing against him. It's just.
I do think Shane's history and Noah definitely helped open that door for him, though. Like it wasn't just, oh, he's a former WWE guy. It was like, no, he's a former WWE guy that basically made his name here. He's a Noah guy.
Yeah.
Todd, do we have any more questions? Oh, sorry, Jeff, go on.
I think we also, I was going to say, I think we also need to hold this up for what it is. And I mean, I'm in no means, it's fantastic. Like, let's be honest, Shane's winning the belt and Noah. But I think we need to treat Aussie wrestlers as wrestlers. So it's great, but it doesn't necessarily mean any more than a great Aussie wrestler has won a title.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We're always going to do that, though, because A, we're Wrestle Radio Australia.
Yeah.
And B, we love Australian wrestling. So by proxy, we love the Australian wrestlers. And we're always going to root for those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say, like, just as an aside.
I'm not
like,
saying
yeah, sorry. As an aside, I'm catching
don't.
up on the WrestleMe podcast from their WrestleMania week. And whenever they talk about a show, I'm like, oh, there was that Aussie on that. Like they were talking about Podemania. And I'm like, oh, Chevs was in the main event, right?
There's
like,
heaps of Aussies on that show.
Yeah.
Might as well have been an Australian show.
Yeah. Sorry, Todd.
That's all right. There was one here about like ACW, so we kind of covered that earlier, so I won't go back to it.
That cat.
We did very much skin that cat. With so many wrestlers released, or not on TV or released, do you think there is room for a third big company in America? Maybe you don't have everyone answer this one. We'll just like go through. Jamie, what do you think, mate?
I just think MLW are looking to make some big waves this year because they've signed some big people and seem to be putting on some great shows. You've also got like MLP now has a TV deal in Canada, so I think they could probably try and pull a few of those people in as well.
Yeah. That is also up on the MLB YouTube channel. Is the Global Wars show with Ring of Honor?
Yeah, it's on there. It's on my AEW. So if you haven't watched it, definitely check it out.
Yeah. Sorry.
And like Alex Fireheart says, so TNA. Yeah, there's lots of shows.
I think TNA had their day, unfortunately. I think they have a chance to break through now because I think it's kind of their name's been made.
But I think the point of that is that, like, if there would be a third company, it would be smaller than AEW just by virtue of being newer.
Unless somebody came in with fucking, like, Khan money and was like, I can do this too. We know how Todd got into this, but how did the other three get into doing this? I'm guessing this show. I'm guessing.
So the podcast I filled in, and then Todd kept bringing me back for some reason. And now he regrets it.
Mustache. Sucker for a mustache.
I was interviewed, and it was a night that Lachlan couldn't make it. I was interviewed in 2022 for my WrestleBrania season. I went pretty far and wide, casting the net to get some attention, and Todd was nice enough to bite. And I think we just had such a lovely chat that he was like, I know you reached out to Welchie and said, how often do you use Jeff? And he goes, not very often. So you went, right.
Yeah,
And,
Jeff sold me a bill of goods on that one.
And then yeah, he did, didn't he? And then Lachlan, Todd, and I had a trial. I think we had one that was a trial, and we just natted away and had such a good time that I'm here almost every week now.
Yeah, I'll say for me, because me being on Wrestle Radio is really the history of making chicken salad as a show, right? Which I actually spoke to a listener named Harry and recorded a little bit of a podcast that may go up somewhere soon if you want to hear this story in more detail. But basically, I started writing for an online zine here in Brisbane for the wrestling scene. Early days, I had been going to interstate shows. I'd been down for Lucha Down Underground with BCW, and I was keeping up with EPW, and I went down to Coliseum. And so I said to the guys at Heat Sheet, the online zine, I said, hey, how about I write some interstate stuff so when interstaters come here, we know who they are, and when our guys go interstate, we follow them. And they said, sounds great, which meant that I was going to every show. Todd heard me being an idiot at shows. Todd had been doing a lot of the interviews on Wrestle Radio Australia and wanted a place to chat about international wrestling. And he knew that I would not be shy about my opinions, and it wouldn't just be a, yes, Todd, I agree with you co-host. He wanted someone who would actually say, no, Todd, I think you're wrong about this, and have an opinion. And he knew that I was someone who could do that. So I got a message one day, said, would you be interested in doing a little show on the podcast where we talk international wrestling? And as we all know, it's a very internationally focused show. We don't talk about the Aussie stuff here.
Yeah, well, it grew from there. It grew from there. But no, you're right. You were, it was like, I wanted someone who would, because I know my views are very, probably more the older school way. So I want someone that will bat back with me and say, no, this is what we do now. And then explain to me why.
Yeah, someone a little new school who would be happy saying, I think that there's value in the new school.
Yeah, because I still don't understand that.
Lucha's good, Todd.
3 Canadian destroyers and then kick out.
Yeah, that's right. It's the best. It's the best.
It's great stuff.
Macho Man Andy Savage said, had any shitty or funny fan interactions since becoming podcast stars? Honestly, Andy, the only times people have said, hey, I'm a fan of the podcast, it's just been so nice and lovely, and they've been super polite, and I wanted to talk more, but it's mostly been at wrestling shows where everything's going on.
Yeah, you usually just get just like as you're walking past, I enjoy the show. Oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Except if you're Jeff, then you get bailed up by wrestlers.
Yeah.
All asking to tune on Lachlan. I had some lovely interactions, people waving at me, people coming up and saying hi and thanking me on Saturday night. And honestly, I had a couple of punters come up and just go, hey, we really like the show. How handsome is Jamie? That was it mainly.
Sorry for bothering you then as well.
I did have an interaction at Rock and Roll the other week of, hey, you're the podcaster, right? And that was about as far as that went.
Yeah, you're good or anything, but you're the podcaster. Yep. That's basically what I do. Thank you. Thanks for describing my job.
Absolutely nothing shitty. Like, it's an absolute thrill to sort of have people come up and go, hey, how's it going? You know, we heard you on Thursday or Friday or whenever they listen to it. It's a really fun show, you know.
Yeah. Generally, like, people are really nice. And if they don't agree with you, they're still really nice to your face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we only have a couple of annoying listeners, and they know who they are, Amy and Toby. But other than that, it's all. No Soul Rose has also asked if we were going to have a Wrestle Radio tag team showdown. What are the teams? Rose proposes Team Laps and Team Setman. No, I mean, obviously it'd be Team Queensland versus Team other states, right?
Yeah, you notice Lachlan picks me here because I'm the only one who's actually had a match.
Has actually wrestled.
I beat Rip Riley, I'll have you know.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh my god!
You also live in the same. You also live in the same state as him, so you're more likely to beat him up if he says anything rude.
Correct. I
I'm
know
also
how to
ringing
keep
Trent.
myself out of trouble.
What was that?
I'm gonna ring Trent.
You can ring Trent.
Yeah.
Ring him all you want.
He'll be on our side.
The problem
Actually,
is they're
no,
going to ring
I've got
every
a-
person in Victoria.
I've still got a pretty bad losing record, Wild Angel. I think I'm about 500.
What?
I think I'm about like
It's 50-50 on wins and losses.
50-50.
What's
50-50
500
wins
about it? You haven't won 5 times as many as you've lost.
It's a baseball thing.
It's a sorry, mate.
Baseball
It's a sports ball
Adding
thing.
1,000,
what?
adding 500.
Yeah,
Alex
because
Firehart-
because I
Let's
beat
take one
I
over
beat
that.
Tiamat, but then I lost to Istria and Outback Adam.
Yep.
But then I beat
You beat Rip.
Rip. Oh, and then we lost a tag match in Wide Bay.
I've
forgot
seen
about
you
that one.
lose a couple of battle royals.
No, you don't
You
lose
don't
a battle
count.
royal.
You
just
don't
get
lose a
eliminated.
battle royal.
Thank
You just don't win.
You don't
Thank
count
you.
Battle Royal.
Jesus.
Alex Fireheart's proposing a WRA host in every corner match, going full WrestleMania McMahon's.
I would love that.
That'd be so fun.
Yeah, because
You
Todd
wanna
knows
see
gets
it-
so Mitch.
You want to see a demon training? That's fucking what would happen if I got that match.
Todd's all of a sudden jacked on the body biz.
Yeah, all of a sudden Slex is getting a fucking phone call. What do you need? I'm like, I've got to have a match against these three. I'll do it for free.
I'm pretty sure he would just be like, you don't need to do anything, you're fine.
You should maybe take some time off.
Have
Go
we
eat
got
some
any
more
more
cheese
questions, Todd?
If you could book
I like
a
this
rookie
one from
versus
Wild Angel.
veteran, go on.
This is actually further to Wild Angels asked. They said they'd be down for WRA host in every corner. Who's everyone's representing? So obviously, Todd, you'd be with Mitch. Yeah,
100%.
Lachlan.
I wonder if
because no one's on your side.
I can
Everyone would
convince
turn on you.
Trent just to fight you.
Yeah, but he's not fighting Todd, he's fighting Mitch. And he likes
It's
Mitch.
fun, Mitch. Wow.
Maybe Bobby Bishop. I think would be. I think I could get Bobby.
Just let me message you quickly.
I would have to at least try for Robbie. It just depends on if he's available, is the problem.
Beating that guy.
Is he in town? When is the
Beat
match?
Robbie.
Is he in town?
I'll buy you pepper lunch. Like that's.
And
Does like
speaking
that.
of Robbie, I'll bring my own. I'll bring Mr. Thorpe.
Yeah, there we go. Again, just to target me. Great. Good to know. Sorry, go on, Todd.
If you could book a rookie versus veteran dream match, who would it be?
That's a really good question.
God,
Nate
it's
Hunter
just-
versus Robbie Eagles.
That's
For
decent.
mine. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Jamie's pretty deep in the tank there. Todd, have you got one?
Not off the top, mate. Like the ones I would do is like because he's not even really a veteran, but it was one that I had booked up at Wide Bay, but of course we haven't been able to run shows for other reasons. One of the reasons it would have been like JJ against Solomon,
Yeah.
just because it's a like they are literally like JJ was his young boy. So it would be good to see, and I think JJ's first match was against Solomon in a pre-show for Wide Bay. So it would be nice to see how much he'd grown over the last couple of years.
I think I would probably say DC Dante versus Davis Storm. I think that the styles would mesh really well. That kind of like pure striking with the like hybrid grappling, high flying thing that Stormy did, I think would be really entertaining. And I think especially if you could do it as Solution Davis versus Dante. I think the character work that'd be for me. Jamie, have you come up with anything?
I think Layla Page from RCW against someone like a Jess Troy would take her to a whole new level.
That's a great pick. That's a really good pick.
Nice pick, Jamie. Todd, is there anything else, mate?
Did you pick one, Jeff?
Yeah, Nate Hunter against Robbie Eagles.
Oh, you did too. You were real quick about it.
He
Yeah,
was first.
sorry. Yeah, he was.
He doesn't listen to you, Jeff.
It came to mind. It came to mind, and I was like, "Yeah, that would slap. Like that's just going to be a great match."
I assume the last one is for me. What's the best and worst thing about being a manager, and what should I do if I wanted to be one? Get yourself checked for starters. The best thing about being a manager is just being able to help. For me anyway, because like I realized I was never going to be able to be a wrestler, at least a full-time wrestler. Like I'm as part-time as what you could be part-time. I'm a manager first wrestler if I really needed. So that like it would be to the best thing about it is to help someone and see somebody like grow over the time that you've spent. Like for the most part, everyone I'd managed before, at least before Mitch, were either fully formed and needed someone to make them a heel, or was really close to that, or just needed someone to speak for them. Whereas Mitch, I've kind of worked with Mitch since like he was in a tag team, and like all the way through that, because I think it's 7 years now we've been working together now. So like I've been able to see
old pink tights.
Yeah, old pink tights rider. I've been able to see that growth over the last like 7 years into what a performer he's become, and to see him take things like after a match, like just going, hey, I saw this, maybe to see him adapt that and to be able to do that has been, honestly, it's been the best time of my career. And there's no shade to working with Brooksy, working with Cree, working with Nova, all of that. It's different with Mitch. The worst thing is that like managers as a whole don't really get noticed or included, if that makes sense.
Like it's disposable just like, for a lot of people.
Yeah, really, they can still book Mitch. They don't really need me because we want the wrestler. Whereas a lot of them don't really realize it's kind of a package thing. Not that Mitch is great on his own, because he is. He proved that at like the show we just watched. But yeah, that's the one downside. And if you want to be a manager, you're gonna have to get used to that because it just happens.
Yeah, and I'll say as an outsider, like I think it sometimes doesn't get appreciated the amount of effort that being a manager is to do it well, right? Like when you see Todd managing, like all of those little things he's so good at. I had a worker up here say for a while that I should be his manager. And I kind of always said, I don't know, number one, that person needed it, but also like what I would be doing, like developing a character that's consistent, that contributes to that worker without taking away from that worker to steal the spotlight, and also like making the matches make more sense rather than making less sense because there's someone on the outside who could be cheating at any time but only cheats at specific time. Like threading all of those needles is so tough, and I think it goes underappreciated a lot of the time, and that's that underappreciation you're talking about there, Todd.
Yeah, and also I think it sounds dumb, but it's almost a compliment that people don't, because I put, at least with Mitch, I put him so far in front that people don't at times notice me. Because like at the end of the day,
you really put your own ego aside. It's for
100%.
the talent.
100%. Like there was times there where we were starting working together, like singles. And we were at the front and we were about ready to go through, and like Mitch just went like this to me. I went, no, you're the star. You go first. It's always about presenting the person you're working with as being I like to think that anyone I work with, because of like how many people I've worked with and kind of the name that I've worked up as a manager, I help that person have a little bit of more gravitas when he comes out. Because like he's got this fucking annoying piece of shit behind him now. So he's even more dangerous than what he was before. Just to raise the person up an extra little level is what I've always tried to. If you wanted to get into to managing, 100% first thing you should do is learn how to wrestle or at least bump. Because if you're a manager that can't bump, you're nothing. No offense, but because the idea of it is where the big payoff. Especially like the beautiful thing about having a manager is that a lot of times if you bump me, it doesn't matter if you win or lose because people are going to remember you bumped me. The amount of times that Mitch has won a match after I've been bumped, that way that babyface still comes out looking good because, hey, he got his hands on Todd. He might not have won the match, but that's because Todd fucking stepped in, but he fucking hit Todd.
Can I
people forget
can I
that.
just give a little bit of advice as well? Watch classic wrestling managers, especially from the territory system. So go and watch. I'm thinking specifically Jimmy Hart and Memphis. If you want to be a heel manager, there is heel management 101. That guy was not afraid to get the shit beaten out of him to make his man look good. And it's something that's really important that, managers are so important.
It depends on what type of manager you want to be. Like Jimmy was a very different manager to Bobby. He was a very different type of manager to Paul Heyman. He's a very different type of manager to Jim Cornette. So there's all and I've because I've watched them all. I gravitate towards Bobby Heenan. Bobby Heenan is when people say you remind me of Paul Heyman, I'm like, well, that's not what I'm going for. But I think because Paul Heyman's the only one who's really seen nowadays, that's who they instantly go, oh, you're a Paul Heyman dude. Well, no, I'm a Bobby Heenan guy. I love Bobby. If you see me bump, you should know that I'm a Bobby Heenan guy.
I think Heyman doesn't present as a traditional manager. He just kind of steps almost outside of that role. There are no traditional managers in mainstream wrestling anymore, and there haven't been for about 15 years. I think the last one that I can think of was Armando Estrada with Umaga, which is about 20 years ago now.
Yeah.
So,
and it's also
I think
it's also one of those jobs that it's easier for a female to get more bookings than it is for a guy as a manager.
Yeah. I was going to say, Maria Kanellis in New Japan did some great stuff as well when she was with the Bullet Club guys.
Yeah. And that's not being that's just me being that's just the way it is. I've been doing this now for, what was it? Was it 12 years? I think I put up the other day, I noticed.
Yep.
Yeah, 12 years since I started managing. So 12 years.
Back when Todd was only in his 60s. Let's move on then to talk about the thing that the show is named. By the way, thank you so much for all those questions.
Yes.
Make sure you're following us on social media so that when we do this segment again, you can tell us what you want us to talk about and we can have those conversations. But right now it's time for the
also before you do, learn how to bump. It's the most important thing. Just learn how to safely bump, how to because you're not that's the key thing about being a manager, I think. Being able to talk, 100%. 50-50 being able to talk, learn how to bump. That's it. Sorry, mate.
Yeah. No, all good.
Really...
That's important. If you're gonna be working, go to the wrestling school first thing.
Yes.
No matter what. But let's do what the show's named for. Before we can get to our chicken salad, you know what we got to get through?
It's plain chicken shit. Chicken shit? Chicken shit.
Chicken shit. Jamie, what was your chicken shit this week?
My chicken shit this week was it was a very bad day to be an Aussie champion in Japan this past weekend. Robbie Eagles lost. The Iconics lost their belt in the same damn day. So
they did too.
That's yeah, disappointing. Particularly Ichiban Sweet Boys losing it so quickly after getting that belt. Like Mystico just walked into a company and they put belts on him.
Yeah, and even the way they did it, like, we challenge you. Okay, no, say no, say no, say no.
Jeff, chicken shit.
I just the whole really cynical exercise from TKO to tell their talent, oh no, you're actually worth 50% of what we've been paying you for years. When those people have families, they're relying on that income. They've got different things. Like, I know that they've got money, and there's no doubt they've got money, and there's no doubt that they're lucratively well off. But I think it's a really cynical exercise, and it's kind of a sad state of affairs.
Yes. Todd, chicken shit.
And mine was kind of the same. There's just the fact that trying to, like, asking people to renegotiate a contract in the middle of the contract is pretty, and giving them only like 2 days to decide is pretty shitty.
Absolutely.
Sorry, that look. I thought you were gonna criticize me in a different direction. So I'm glad we're thinking on the same lines.
No. Like, I honestly, the whole, like, they've got families to feed, and that their families are eating. Their families are eating well.
Also,
I don't know if you saw Shawn Michaels' documentary. Their families are eating well.
Alex Fireheart pointed out about the Noah championship for Shane Haste, not to mention Shane's first challenger is Kenta, so that reign might not last the month. Just quickly, my chicken shit.
What a match. What a match to watch one.
Oh, yeah. My chicken shit is just something that maybe could have been predicted, but it seems like the Lucha Underground teasers are just that the show is going to be put up somewhere, maybe YouTube. That...
Smart.
What's the
got
point?
Attention.
Yeah, it got attention.
Like,
it sure did.
That's what the point was, bro. It got attention. It got them fucking going, what? And then not only that, that's a great way for them to gauge their interest.
Yep.
Like, shit, we got all these impressions. This thing is going to sell.
Yeah, it's true. But, I would have liked to have seen more Lucha Underground. So not getting more Lucha Underground when it looked like we might, that's a bummer.
Especially when they teased it, and then like 2 days later, JC Mateo goes, yeah, I'm going to leave.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For tons of time, anyone?
Yeah.
It at least brings that catalog back from the dead of, like, really had to go out and sail some high seas to get that show.
Or get a USB off of Winter Angel or Andre Irons, I think was the little backroom tape
you
trading.
You are just the biggest grass, aren't you?
You goddamn snitch.
No wonder sources, dickhead. Victoria wants to bring you up. Play the video again, Todd.
Now the Queenslanders are going to come after you.
Hey, no, like that. I'm not saying that they pirated it. I'm saying they had a copy.
Lachlan Albert making friends and influencing people.
I wouldn't know anyone who pirated several seasons of Lucha Underground.
Dig up, stupid. Dig up. Okay? Dig steps.
Well, let's talk about chicken salad.
Chicken salad really is the bomb.
Jamie, what's your chicken salad?
I had Shane Haste, but we've spoke about him a lot. My big one is after watching the New Japan shows over the weekend, this Ospreay storyline that they're telling between Callum Newman, United Empire, Will Ospreay, the Death Riders, Will Ospreay, and the Ops that's carrying across all of these groups, all of these two promotions is just so well done. And there was a line when Callum Newman told Ospreay to take out one of the other guys and said, "You'll do it." And Ospreay went to walk away and he went, "Oi, Death Rider Bill, get back here." And he turned around like he was about to deck him. And then he was like, "Fine, I'll do it." And just did it. So really well done for these companies to work together and get this storyline to make logical sense across the two companies, especially building towards a Forbidden Door type show.
Although I don't like the idea of him saying, "I'm not cleared to wrestle here, but I'll go and wrestle in New Japan."
That bit was a bit dumb. But most of everything else, very well done.
Yeah.
And then talking about him wrestling with a broken body. And it's like, well, don't then.
You don't, dickhead.
Yeah, chicken salad.
Honestly, it was the way that I was treated and received by workers, management, and staff and fans on Saturday night at PCW. It is a great show. Their Royal Rumble this year was just fantastic. They created so many new stories. I can't wait till we have a look at it later in the year when it's ready. But to the entire crew at PCW, thank you so much for making us all feel so welcome. It was lovely. It was really nice.
Yeah. Todd, chicken salad. Let's talk about Alex Fireheart, who mentioned their chicken salad. Gino Gambino making the English commentary team break before the first match on Wrestling Dontaku even started. Great stuff.
Gino was fantastic across both of those shows. He adds so much fun to that commentary team where they were kind of very dry, analytical.
Yeah.
He was very funny throughout the show. Jake Andratha even got a shout out.
Hell yeah.
I know we kept getting messages about like certain things that would happen like during the show. Like, is blah blah still on that podcast? Like, no, he's not anymore. Lyle.
Who's Lyle?
I want a shout out. Yeah. Who's Lyle? Well, they play golf together and work out together, so no wonder he's probably said his name.
Yeah, Gino was
Lyle
great.
Lyle was on the turnbuckle for a long time, and he
Yes.
stepped away about a year ago. So having a lot of fun.
Todd, chicken salad.
My chicken salad is this week. I kind of went through a bit of a hit a bit of a mental health wall. I kind of accidentally sort of lashed out at a mate, like through message, not through like yelled at or stuff like that. And he kind of like talked me down and talked me around and like, yeah, like I apologized to him afterwards and I said, I'm really sorry. I apologize that just happened. Yada, yada. But it is nice to know that you've got mates out there that will say, are you okay? Blah, blah, blah. Like, do we have a problem or are you lashing out because of something else? Instead of it escalating into being an actual full-blown, why don't you go fuck yourself? Into just saying, like, this is very out of... Because it probably was very out of character for me to just unload the way I did. And again, I apologize. I'm not going to say who it is because it's between him and me. But if he listens to this, like, thank you, and I am sorry for what happened. But again, thank you so much for being there as a mate, because that's what we need every now and then, especially when I'm hitting at that stage of my life now where I'm getting older, and it's like certain things are coming ever closer, like retiring from managing and stuff like that, and just it all gets a bit too much every now and then. So
being an old man who yells at crowd.
Pretty much, yeah. And constantly being called an old man doesn't help.
Well,
you bully.
No, I don't want. No, I'm just saying.
heel.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm just saying. It's not just like you saying it. It's just like because I say it myself. If anyone's going to put me down, it'll be me first. Trust me. Like, you know as much as I do, to the point where you even asked me like ages ago, because I made it like an offhanded joke on here going, the 5 people that listen to this show would get that joke. And you were like, there's only 5 people listen to this show? I'm like, no, a lot more people listen to this show, bro. I just don't. But yeah. Thank you to that person. And yeah, that's what we should be. We should be there for our mates.
Absolutely. And I'm going to come off that with my chicken salad as well. I've got a couple of wrestling ones after this, but I'm also going through a bit of a moment, and not only did the boys here check on me, but a couple of listeners as well checked in, and that meant the world. So, noticed that obviously last week I ducked out halfway through the show with stuff going on, to know that there's people out there who do genuinely care, and then to have a week of, having people check in and also being able to watch great wrestling just, makes things a little bit better. A couple of little ones. I thought Mason Rook's debut was fantastic. Attacking Tavian Heights and Tony D after their main event with such a cool move, that like turbo backpack cannonball thing rules. That was sick. Michael Lockwood rules as well. Seeing her on proper TV is just like, yeah, I'm excited for her to be a mainstay. And
I love the idea of her with that group.
Yeah, it's such a good film.
It's such a fun look.
Yeah.
Does that to go with like the frat guys?
Yeah. Just this massive chick with all these like little Twinkie dudes.
Yeah.
It's great.
Just
And
she's
one
the
of them is
bruiser of the group.
Yeah, and one of them is in love with her as well.
Yeah, it's superb.
I was very
Love
scared
it.
when they introduced her and them together. I was like, oh no.
Yeah,
Thankfully,
same.
dang it. Good
It's
way.
one of those things where you hold your breath, like please don't let this go south. And it's like when the dude is like genuinely like
she's
attracted to
awesome.
her, and like she's so awesome. Like, oh my god, this is not the way this is going at all. Oh my god.
And then I also think Jacob Plateau
I
is a
really
great promo
like-
one more time. Sorry, Jeff.
I really like that they've done that. I really like that they've got one of them crushing on her in such a big way. I think that that's so good.
Yeah, just awesome stuff. And if you want more awesome stuff, you should subscribe to Wrestle Radio Australia. It's free. You can do it on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Twitch, Podcast Addict, anywhere you get your podcasts. If you're on Apple Podcasts, if you can give us a rating and a review, 5 stars goes really far into helping us get into more ears. You can follow us on social media at Wrestle Radio AU, on Twitter, on Instagram, at Twitch. We're at twitch.tv/Wrestle Radio Australia. We're on Facebook at Wrestle Radio Australia. You can find us anywhere. You can also find our merch. If you want some Wrestle Radio Australia merch, go to Redbubble. Search for Wrestle Radio Australia on Redbubble. The proceeds don't go to us. They go to Beyond Blue and Gotcha for Life, which are charities that support mental health here in Australia. Really important stuff. So search for Wrestle Radio Australia on Redbubble to track that down. And if you want some wrestler merch, you can head on over to kickout.com.au for merch of your favorite wrestlers from Queensland and from around the country. If you're a wrestler and you want your merch on kickout.com.au, send Kickout a message on their Instagram page. You'll be able to get a hold of them there. We've also got our own social medias. I'm at Lachlan Albert. Todd is at Beast Eastman. Jamie is at Jamie Apps Media. Jeff has at Wrestle_Brainia. Tell us about Wrestle Brainia, Jeff.
We are currently in hiatus, but we are hoping to come back later this year. Oh, and Lachlan, Lucky O'Leary will explode all over you.
I'm aware.
He said it.
The Human. Hang on, let me check my notes. Jamie, tell us about Parrier Magazine.
Parrier Magazine, the new issue arrived today from the printer, so that'll be shipping out to subscribers tomorrow. And then next week we'll be doing a podcast review of Carrie to celebrate its 50th anniversary, just to make everybody feel a little bit older. And then I will be back for a Dynamite Watch along on Thursday and a special occasion on Saturday for Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor with that man down there.
Whoa! How exciting!
Is Peggy joining us?
Unsure at the moment. We'll see how she is.
She heard I was on, right? I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Is there anything else we need to shout out before we go?
Tomorrow night I will probably be doing a continuation of our series of WWE The Eruption. This is the one that was in Scotland.
Oh boy.
So yeah, with the main event of Lex Luger and Sting. So
should be okay.
Oh, I think
they're gonna erupt
not
everywhere.
Not from what I heard.
Oh.
I don't think from what I've heard from like reviews, I don't think Luger brought his working boots.
Just cashing a check.
Yeah, pretty much. So no, it was in Scotland. 9:30 tomorrow night. If you've watched the other ones before, we usually have some fun. I don't know if my mate Rosie will be here or not, because I'd have to message him and find out, because I'm very last minute of whether I decide I'm going to do these or not. So might have Rosie with us. Anyone else who wants to join in, you boys are always welcome. Like I've said that every time. If you want to sit down and watch some questionable wrestling with some questionable things that happen on them. Although I will say that Wrestle Right one was quite enjoyable up till the 2 fan cam ones. Just watching that old stuff.
They were rough.
Australia.
A bit of a rough hang.
It was,
Awesome.
yeah. But
And as well,
do we know what we're watching next week as well?
Oh no, not yet. Not yet. We have to see what's out to watch.
Yeah, as Wild Angel says, by the way, I already can't wait. The WWA shows have been fun, so make sure you get amongst that.
And we're coming towards the end of them too. There's only like another 2, I think, after this one.
I'm sure you'll find something to replace them, Todd, to have some fun watch-alongs. So
Lucha Underground will be on YouTube then.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, there's also that other one. There's also that other one that I found.
Wrestling Society X.
Yeah, that was the one.
Yeah.
So we might get into that as well.
The MTV prequel to Lucha Underground. Yes.
Yes.
That's
so we might get into that after WWA. So,
how exciting. Yeah. Well, I'll look ahead to the future. You got to be following WRA.
Oh, yeah, and Rodman Down Under as well. Rodman Down Under is after WWA, and then we go to probably Wrestling Society X.
So you definitely need to be following twitch.tv/WrestleRadio Australia. So, on behalf of Todd Eastman, of Jeff Setti, who's that way, and Jamie Apps, who's that way, I've been Lachlan Albert. Till next time, have a good one.
Trying to make chicken salad out of chicken shit, and it was just awful.
I've turned chicken salad into chicken shit. I will continue to do so.
Making chicken salad out of chicken shit.
Make chicken salad out of chicken shit. People is as people.